Lorenzo Alexander and preview the Monday Night Football slate with Will Hill. It's VSiN by the books, 7 to 10 a.m. Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Prop Points with the Guru, John Hansen on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Final segment here on a Friday. This is when we pop out the propage. Weird week. I've got 10. I've got a best bet. We have a perfect record to maintain, 6-0 on the best bets. Not bragging. I don't want to anger the football gods, but you know, we got to pop it out at the end of the show, which we will. It was not easy really to find 10 props that I'm like feeling really a lot of conviction, quite frankly. So, you know, I focused on roll, schematic matchups, and expected game flow. Last week, I thought I would get cute and try and project a roll with that Hassan Haskins. I'm not messing around like that this week here. I'm going with sure rolls, massive rolls that I'm completely confident in, and a lot of the good schematical matchups. We'll start with the one we were in on yesterday. It was so important we had to bust out the megaphone. So if I bust out the megaphone mid-show during the week, it's because I want to officially plant a flag on something like Quinshon Judkins over 89.5 rushing yards. Our guy Tom Brawley wanted it at 82 or 81, and it was kind of scared off. Well, guess what? Last I checked, this puppy's up to 95.5. So we're all sharing a brain here, thinking the weather is going to be a factor. As I mentioned with Jake Tribby, Judkins 7th in the NFL with 284 yards rushing the last 5 weeks, 4.6 yards per carry. Yet somehow he's only played 13 snaps with a lead. 2 weeks ago, I lost this prop last week, by the way, but part of the analysis was even when they're losing, they're still handing the ball off. Pittsburgh completely took them out. That won't happen here, and they are 2.5 home favorites in a nasty weather game against a Miami defense that's been a top 5 run funnel because they're one of the worst run defenses and tackling teams you've ever seen. So we're good. We're running for 100 here, barring an injury, because they have, by the way, given up 330 on the ground to 2 guys that no one drafted this past year. Maybe they drafted Rico Dowdle, but Kamani Vidal and Rico Dowdle, 330 in this matchup the last 2 weeks. Next up, again, I'm going with a short thing here like Bijan Robinson. We won a prop on Monday, I believe, on that one run. Well, at least we won 80% of it on that one run, but over 77.5, that run Monday night was longer than that, right? It was an 80-yarder. The Niners give up the 8th highest yards per carry average against zone concept runs, 4.5 yards per carry, but the 10th lowest on man and gap concept runs. 74.5% of Bijan's runs come on those zone concept runs. He's averaging 6.6 yards per carry on those runs, tops in the NFL. Meanwhile, Tyler Algier has a 44% success rate on those runs, which ranks only 29th out of 50 running backs with at least 25 carries. Niners, they just lost Fred Warner. You can do anything on them, basically. You can throw on them. You can run on them. And Bijan, of course, he's the leading Algier in snap share and carry share. Not for nothing, but the Niners overall give up the 10th most adjusted yards before contact and the 12th most rushing yards. Also the 7th fewest receiving yards, by the way, which all kind of lines up for Bijan to get it done on the ground. Might not go nuts in the passing attack. J.K. Dobbins will not go nuts in the passing attack because he has now fallen below 2 receptions in 5 straight games, has JK. He has in his last 4.
10-9-8-7-6-5-4-3-2-1-1-2-3-4-5.
I bring this up because it's all about early downs and running the rock for J.K. Dobbins. A lot of people thought early in the year, based on it being a veteran and good in pass pro, that he would get a lot of the third down reps and passing down reps. Not really. That's kind of been R.J. Harvey. Denver is a 7-point home favorite. Our offensive line, defensive line matchup tool over at Fantasy Points has Dobbins and the Broncos with the second best rushing grade on the board this week. The Broncos have generated the third most adjusted yards before contact per attempt. They face a giant defense, giving up the seventh most. It's also, this is the critical part, a great
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and catch the bus. Text and miss your stop. Wait. Text and be late to work.
Sorry, I'm late.
Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working.
Who, me?
Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey.
Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Is that a faucet running? That's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. Forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink.
What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum.
That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest cleaning up the air we breathe.
I didn't know the trees were so amazing.
Yep, and the forest gives us shade, trees to climb.
That's awesome. Let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does, just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
Want to know what I like best about high school sports? I love watching my son run on the field. I love the fact that since he's been playing high school sports, he's making better decisions. And I love knowing that with the proper equipment, education, conditioning, and coaching, high school sports here in Ohio are safer than ever before. That's something I really love.
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
If you want to stay on top of your health, one simple thing to do
is take the pledge to go and get screened for the cancers that might affect you.
So stand up to cancer and take the pledge at GetScreenedNow.org.
It only takes a minute to take care of yourself, and nothing rhymes with org.
Talk to your doctor about your health and screenings that are right for you.
This is Jerry Snodgrass, Executive Director of the Ohio High School Athletic Association. One of my long-standing goals is to help people understand that high school sports are about so much more than wins and losses. The OHSAA promotes education-based athletics, where sports are an extension of the classroom. Our schools all want to win. There's no doubt about it. But at the end of the day, it's all about sportsmanship, leadership, and making certain that academics are a priority. Thank you for your support of high school sports in Ohio.
Please stand by for a special presentation of Western Reserve Radio at westernreserveradio.com on the Live 365 network and the Live 365 app. In the hockey world, stars are not born, but made along a road paved with commitment and sacrifice.
Backdoor feed for Stone. Across to Cassidy. They score!
A road covered with the blood, sweat, and tears of those that have traveled it before.
Drops off for a shot by Alger. Rebounds loose and they score! Yusaka Ando!
And that road runs through the Mahoning Valley. From the Covelli Center in Youngstown, Ohio, it's our time, it's our town. It's Phantoms Hockey on Western Reserve Radio.
I'm getting older. Do I need to worry about falling?
Yes, you do. Each year, 1 in 4 people 65 and older will experience a fall, and many will be serious. The majority of falls happen at home, so remove things that could make you trip and install handrails to keep you steady. To learn more about the steps you can take to help prevent a fall, please talk to your doctor. You can also visit aarpfoundation.org or medicaremadeclear.com/falls. This message was brought to you by United Healthcare and AARP Foundation.
Please stand by for a special presentation of Western Reserve Radio at westernreserveradio.com on the Live 365 network and the Live 365 app.
So why do teenagers play high school sports?
My reason why is a sense of purpose.
My reason why is to inspire others.
One reason student athletes seldom mention is to get an athletic scholarship. They know that only 2% of all high school athletes are awarded a sports scholarship. So why do they play?
My reason why is friendship.
Tell us your reason using the hashtag #MyReasonWhy.
This message presented by the NFHS and the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
Hey, football fans, don't miss the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey at the Covelli Center in downtown Youngstown. The Phantoms are preparing for the upcoming season as
You're listening to WRDB, Western Reserve Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, Warren, Salem, and around the world.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
Western Reserve Radio is the Valley's online source for sports talk and local live events. Tune in and be a part of their live weekly shows, as well as all of the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey, high school football, and the GDFL. Find them at westernreserveradio.com. Tune in and the Live 365 app to be a part of the area's sports conversation. Be sure to visit them on Facebook at Western Reserve Radio and on Twitter at WR_radio.
If I could be you.
And you could be me for just 1 hour.
If you could find a way
to get inside each other's mind.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out. And for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
It's time to kick back and listen to the sports page with your host, Pat Lucia, right here on Western Reserve Radio. You can call the show at 330-707-4202 and tell everyone what's on your mind in the wonderful world of sports. Now, here's your host, Pat Lucia.
Saturday morning sports page, Pat Lucia, 330-707-4202. The station is Western Reserve Radio, and the show is the Saturday morning sports page. Dave Clark on his way into the studio. Boy, we got a lot to get to today in the wonderful world of sports. Obviously, some big upsets last night right in college football. Got to get to these at least. The one big upset was number 2 Miami was upset by Louisville 24-21, which means up Miami, rated number 2 in the country, will obviously drop. They go to 5-1. Louisville was 4-1 going into the game. They beat Miami 24-21. So big upset. Not a good day for Carson Beck. He had 4 interceptions, and the last interception was when Miami was driving down the field to tie the game. Looked like they were actually in field goal range. Carson Beck has a tip ball, interception, game sealed for the Louisville Cardinals. So Miami falls to 5-1. They were number 2 in the country, and obviously they were going to drop. Last week we were on talking about Penn State. Big change in their coaching staff. We're going to get into the whole Penn State deal. Other game last night, though, Chapel Bill Belichick, our man, he took it on the chin. They lost to California, late game on at 10:30 at night, 21-18. So Chapel Bill loses another game, creating probably more chaos in the program down in University of North Carolina. At least one good thing, I guess, Carolina's got something to look at, a positive going into this game, or at least the result was they were competitive. It was a close game. They had a tough loss. It was 21-18. Their last few losses this year have not been competitive. So if there is a silver lining to this, Bill Belichick, you were competitive. It's a tough road game. You played out in California. Yeah, you had to travel all the way out there to California. Unfortunately, you came up short, 21-18. So there is a silver lining, I guess, to this loss. Maybe Belichick and Carolina have maybe turned the corner. Maybe they'll be more competitive, at least moving forward, and maybe kill the speculation as far as is Belichick going to take a buyout. He has on his own buyout. I think he can get out. They'll give him $1 million if he wants, or if he wants to stay, the buyout is significantly a lot more than that. So wait and see what happens. But again, 2 games last night. Louisville beat Miami 24-21, and then late night North Carolina lost to Cal 21-18. On the baseball side, real quick, the Dodgers swept the Milwaukee Brewers 5-1. No surprise there. Seattle, after dumping 2 games at home to Toronto, came back, won 6-2. That will force obviously a game 6. But now that series goes to 3-2 back to Toronto. Seattle leads the series 3-2. So we'll see what they do. If anyone really following this series, it's been kind of a weird series because Seattle won the first 2 games in Toronto. Toronto followed up with 2 wins in Seattle. Then last night, Seattle finally won a home game. So they lead the series 3-2. They get a day off, go back to Toronto for the final 2 games, and now the Dodgers will sit there twiddling their thumbs aimlessly, waiting for the winner of Seattle-Toronto. Maybe, just maybe, the Dodgers will get a little rusty, and potentially, just potentially, we might have a decent World Series. So we'll have to wait and see how this plays itself out. But it looks like, if you're looking at it right from an outsider looking in, bottom line is I think the Dodgers have pretty much a slam dunk to win another World Series. They'll go back-to-back. And I'll have to look in the history books. I think the last team to go back-to-back in the National League, Dave Clark, I think it was the Cincinnati Reds, 75-76.
Yeah.
No team in the National League has gone back-to-back since that big red machine with Joe Morgan, Pete Rose, George Foster, Ken Griffey Sr.
Was that Johnny Bench, too?
That was Johnny Bench.
Yeah.
That was the Johnny Bench,
Yeah.
Dave Concepcion.
Yeah, they were loaded.
That was a loaded team. They won
They were
2
good.
World Series, 75, 76. They swept the Yankees in 76. They took the Red Sox to 7 and won in 7 games in 75. And I believe, I'll look at my records, but I believe that was the last National League team to win back-to-back.
Probably
Now, the
so.
last team to win back-to-back was the New York Yankees. They actually had won 3 in a row. And that was from 98, 99, and 2000. The Yankees won 3 in a row. But since 2000, I know for a fact no team has won back-to-back. So baseball is a very interesting sport because you have the haves and the have-nots. And now the Dodgers people are all screaming and yelling because they buy everybody and they've pretty much bought the championship. But that's just the way with no salary cap.
Yeah, I don't even fault them at all. If you got the money and you can do it, the way it's set up, they're not breaking any rules. That's what the Red Sox tried to do it one time. The Yankees
usually do it too.
Yeah,
and the Mets tried to do it.
And the Mets too.
They did it too. The only thing, the Mets put a crappy team together.
Yeah. Well, just the what it is not that I would say we know they're not. They paid that type of money. Why? Why would those guys demand the money? Because they're good, but they don't fit together. That's all. And we done seen that in football. I done seen it in basketball. The great teams back with Kobe and Shaq, and they got Gary Payton, Karl Malone. It didn't work.
No.
I remember the Eagles had a team where they thought they was calling it the All-Star team. It was you had Michael Vick with Vince Young backing them up. They had running backs galore, receivers galore, defensive line, everything. they didn't do anything. And it doesn't work sometimes. It just don't fit together. But the Dodgers, they play well together. They cruise through the regular season. You know, even used to watching them. And then they just turn the switch on.
They just turn it on in time.
They do all the talent. They just start towards the end of the season. They play really good going into the playoffs, and then it's over.
And that's what's going to happen this year.
They're no used to getting upset. As long as they don't have salary cap, Pat. Any team that got the money, you know.
That's how they're going to build their team.
And some of these other markets that don't, they probably need to invest, looked into getting another, like a partnership with somebody that has a lot of money, and now they can start putting money together and start buying some players. I mean, because that's I don't think you really compete. That's why I'll never watch it, because it's you can't compete in that.
The same teams get in the playoffs, but the only interesting part is, because baseball is a weird sport, is once in the playoffs, the high price teams don't necessarily win it.
No, that's true.
The weird teams like the Arizona, Texas, some of those teams will get in, like
Houston.
2023, Texas, Arizona got in.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Houston will
They
get
didn't expect
in.
neither one of those teams.
No.
They did it.
And so you'll get those teams that get in and get hot, and they're not necessarily got the highest salary, but they get hot at the right time.
I mean, they're still professionals.
Oh, yeah. So I mean, they're all getting paid.
Right.
Yeah,
So they got an opportunity.
Yeah.
They got an opportunity. They can be them good nights and get a string going, get it hot, like you said, and can win it. But the cluster of teams that go are the same.
Core. It's the core teams that get in usually.
Yep. You don't get that with the NFL
no more. NFL, because of the cap.
Yeah, it's just changes.
It's kind of really wild.
Every year we wait for what team
because
it's going to be. Now, what we going into week 8 or 7? 8? I can't remember which one we're going to. It might be 7.
I believe it's 7.
Yeah, so you got 10 more weeks. But just looking at right now.
Yeah, week 7.
Indianapolis Colts. Who expected that? The way they're playing. Having all kind of issues trying to figure out a quarterback situation, offensive line problems, linebacker problems. Doesn't look like they have too many problems. They're playing well. Who never?
Well, then you have the other end of the spectrum. You have, like the Ravens, the injuries. Lamar's out.
Yeah, those things.
Are they going to recover and get back into it?
It's going to be tough. They got. I mean, them and the 49ers are the mass unit of the NFL. I've never seen so many injuries in my life.
No.
And see, the thing that's bad about the San Fran had a little bit better schedule to go through. Baltimore's was it
was tough.
Yeah, that's a tough, and they're going to win those games with all those injuries.
Well, that gets us to the Thursday night game. We both got that one right. I changed it when I heard, Mike Tomlin was 0-6 Thursday night game against divisional opponents on the road.
Yes, I didn't know.
I didn't know that, and then
I just had a feeling that it's the perfect setup for Flacco because it's not that Flacco. I already said before he can throw the football, but if he ain't got a lot of time, it's going to be a problem. But he doesn't have a lot of time in Cincinnati. But we talking about Jerry Jeudy or Jamar Chase,
and then
that's a big difference. And then T. Higgins, and then they got all the other guys. It's so much talent in the skill positions,
and they're smart because they hit the quick passes where he
let them run.
The
they just run right,
and they had a running game.
Yeah, that's
the Bengals had a running game Thursday night. Now people are upset because the Steeler defense was exposed, and so now the Steeler fans are upset. Obviously, they're mad at Tomlin. They
won it. They've been wanting him fired.
Yeah, they want him fired, and he's not going anywhere. And it's going to be and the Steelers played good. I mean, offensively, they really played good. Rodgers looks pretty good. They played good offensively. It was their defense could not stop the Bengals.
Right.
But the Bengals, I mean, the thing with them, now you have the quarterback, Flacco, that can throw the ball.
Right. They're going to be dangerous. They can run.
They can dangerous. If they continue to keep that running game revved up.
I think they'll take
with those two wide receivers. Yeah, they could potentially compete for the Steelers for that division now, because the Steelers go to 4-2 and the Bengals are now 3-4. So they're not that far apart.
No, game and a half out right now.
Game and a half. And now that if you've got, it's only one game, so don't get overreact here.
Right.
But if the Bengals have basically maybe found their quarterback that they needed.
Oh, yeah, they needed. They had to get Browning in the backup role.
Yeah,
he would be fine in the backup.
He's a backup.
But he's not a guy that's going to lead your team, for the rest of the season. You couldn't do that. That was the best thing they could have did. Get a veteran guy that can throw the ball on time. And that's something Flacco could do. And, both quarterbacks, like we said, the 40-something guys, they played well that night. So it wasn't anything about Pittsburgh's offense, but that defense. And people, they want Tomlin out. They've been wanting him out. But they got to look at their defensive deficiencies. Yeah, they can rush the passer with T.J. Watt. But they haven't been a stalwart against the run in some years now. And people keep and they're not great at coverage all the time. Sometimes, but not all the time. So it goes hand in hand. They get a great pass rush going, then the pass defense always going to, and that's just anybody. It's going to make them look even better. But you have been able to run on Pittsburgh back in the day, and I'm not saying way back. We're not talking about steel curtain days. We can go back in the 2000s, early 2000s, mid 2000s. There was a good run defense all the time. It was physical, brutal. I mean, it's always. So, they're not that no more. They're not that. There was a brutal defensive team with a great running game, and they not that anymore. So I don't know what fans, they just want him out. So, like, I'll go with what you always said. Go ahead and fire him. I don't think he will be fired, but let's say he does. Let's say it happened. Well, if he wants to coach, somebody will be calling him in about a day, maybe the same day. Can we talk to you? I mean, he'll get a job so quickly.
Thing is,
and that's not how the Rooneys do business normally, but
Rooney's come out already, and he said, like, this is over a year ago now.
Yeah, when I remember when he said it,
I've heard him say it, and he's just saying
he's under contract.
They were trying to stir up the story. Insiders said that the Steelers were going to consider trading, letting Tomlin go, but they wouldn't want draft compensation.
Right.
And I remember that was in the, in the press or out there, in the rumor mill. And I just remember Rooney come out and said that, no, Mike Tomlin's going nowhere. He's our coach. He goes, he's not going to another team because he's under contract with us.
Right.
And then they were talking about, well, if he retires, he goes, okay, fine, he can retire, but he's not coaching another team. In other words, he's not going anywhere because he's under contract with us, and I'm not. It was almost like, A, he's not getting fired. B, we're not trading him because he's our coach and he's under contract.
Yeah.
And he was very just blunt and to the point. And it was like almost matter of the fact where it's like he didn't even want to address all the rumors. He was just stating fact.
Yeah, the media love to make those trade proposals.
Yeah.
Got to have something to talk about.
Speculation.
And then they like to cause controversy. And that's a lot of controversy going on. And now, not just the I'm talking about just in the NFL. I mean, all the things that come up. It's just, but they stir it.
They like to stir it.
They like to stir the pot, and keep them relevant. They don't have to worry about it. Their product sells itself, but they like to keep everything going in there so that when it's NFL time, that's all we think about is NFL. But that is, I mean, other than that, the only other caveat is college football, but it's still not king over the NFL.
No,
even though a lot of people like to say that. And I understand people say I like college football better than the NFL. Okay, but if you take a poll of the majority of Americans, And they don't even have to be Americans. Overseas now, because they got so much, they like NFL football more than college.
I mean, NFL's king. It's the one that drives the boat, drives the ratings boat, drives all ratings.
All money, yeah.
All
everything.
money, everything is the NFL. They just do what they want to do. Baseball is on now. Most people, don't care. Sadly, they're in the NFL. There are some baseball people that are into it.
Yeah.
But for the most part, and then at least the only thing baseball potentially has going for it, maybe, is if you have a Seattle Dodger World Series, you may not get big ratings because that's a West Coast, and people in the East aren't going to care. Toronto, you'll have the Canada side. Maybe you'll get some people in the East that will care. That the Dodgers are in it. Now, if Milwaukee would have been in it, you've been like, people would have been like, who's playing? Sadly.
Yeah.
But they needed the Yankees and the Dodgers again because that's going to at least draw the juice with, especially the Yankees, because they are still population or popularity, the number one team as far as popularity goes in the country. After that, you can make the argument the other teams fall in. But the whole point of it is for TV ratings, they compete directly now into the NFL. They are up front with the NFL, and the NFL now, week 7, is really interesting because we got a lot of interesting games to get to today. And even college has got a great games on their slate.
Yeah.
So
All
now,
week.
oh yeah, exactly. So the baseball's just like really in third place here. Really, I mean, it's just not going to draw because they're right up against the teeth, the wheelhouse of the NFL. Week 7 is, this is where now everybody starts in about, the divisions, who's in, who's out, playoffs, who's in playoff potential. Like we look at the Ravens, we'll look at the remaining part of their schedule. Like, let's look at the Bengals right now. They play, if you look at the Bengals, they win, they go to 3-4. Next week, they have the Jets at home. That's a win. The Jets are absolutely should be.
Yeah,
you never know.
Yeah, you do. You don't.
That's one thing with the NFL. You can never take anything to the bank, but you got to look at.
You got to look at it and say.
Yeah,
you would think.
That they would win. They have a home game against the Jets, who have absolutely have not won a game yet.
Right.
They continue to just flounder. People are screaming and yelling about their coach. It's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better until they start winning and show some semblance of a team that can really compete. But they're playing terrible. If you're a Bengal fan, you got the Jets, and then you got Chicago at home. That could be a tough game.
Yeah, that there.
Because the Bears have kind of found themselves. And so you're looking at that thinking, but if you can win those next 2 games, and you could go to 5-4, and you go into the bye week. If they can beat the Jets, that would get them to 500, and then the Chicago Bears would, if they can win that game at home, they would go to 5-4, and then they have the bye week.
And who does the Steelers have in the next 3 games?
And then the Bengals come back off the bye, and they're at Pittsburgh.
Okay, see, it's perfect because if it depends on what they do their next 3 games.
Now, the Steelers get a little bit more. They've got more of a tougher road to hoe because they've got Green Bay home next Sunday night. Then they have the Colts at home. So they got Green Bay and then the Colts at home, but Colts 1:00, Green Bay 8:20 on Sunday night. And then they go out to the San Diego, we call them still the San Diego Chargers. They go out to the LA, we still call them the San Diego Chargers away. So that's their next 3 games. And then they play Cincinnati.
Okay, well they both could come in. It's a possibility they both could come in 5-4. Because let's say the Steelers win 1 out of those 3 games. They both would be 5-4 coming into that game.
They could be.
They could be.
Right. Because they have the 3 games, the Steelers could potentially be 5-4, or they could be 4-5.
Yeah.
Because if they could lose to Green Bay and they still got to play Indy, and then they play at the Chargers. So they could actually, sadly, I mean, if you get down to it, they could lose all three and be 4-5.
Yeah, I know it.
And the
All of
Bengals
them
could
could-
win theirs and be 5-4.
Yep.
The Bengals could win their two, and now all of a sudden the Bengals have a 1-game lead. And who knows? Like when you start looking at, Baltimore is 1-5, and you look at them and you're thinking, can they recover? I heard, 1-5 teams. I think 4 teams have made the playoffs after going 1-5. So Baltimore still has hope. But if you're Baltimore, let's look at it real quick. You have this week. You've got they're off this week.
I think they got it.
They're bye this week.
Well, they needed that.
And they
one.
needed that. But they come off the bye and they have Chicago at home.
And I think Lamar will be back then.
Lamar should be back.
And maybe quite a few of they guys, Hamilton and the defensive lineman, will be back.
Right.
The linebacker, it was, I think
Raekwon Smith.
Smith was out.
Yeah, he was out, I believe.
He'll be back. You get all that core right there. That's one guy for each level of your defense. Your defensive lineman, your linebacker, and then your secondary guy. They all be back. With that bye was perfect. But you said they go against.
They have, when they get their bye now, off this week, they have the bye. Next week, after, they have the Chicago Bears at home.
And they got it. That's a possibility that they can win that game.
They can win that, and that would get them to 2-5. They have at Miami Thursday night.
Get them to 3-5.
That would get them to 3-5. But then they have at Minnesota, and then they have the Jets at home.
They had an opportunity too because Minnesota's defense is very good, but they it's the key is Lamar Jackson. It really is.
Yeah, he's going to be the key.
Because it opens up everything else. He'll be able to pass. They'll be able to run the ball more effectively from the running back position when you got Lamar in the backfield as a threat.
And I think the problem you have with the Ravens this year has been their defense, and that's going to be key. He's got to shore that defense up because when you look at their schedule, it's fairly manageable. You have Chicago at home on week after next week. Then you have Miami, who may be a dead man walking by then. Their coach may be fired. Everybody's now waiting for that shoe to drop. Then you have the Cleveland. They're at Cleveland, and that's another team that's in disarray. And then they have the Jets at home. Mm-hmm. Then they go to the Bengals. Then they have the Bengals, but that's not till November 27th. But so when you look at the Ravens and you say, can the Ravens really get back into this? Yeah. If they could beat, if you look at their schedule real quick, their next 5 games, 3 games, they got to be favored. If they've got Lamar back and you take the next 5 games for the Baltimore Ravens, say the next 5 games, okay, Chicago, they may not be favored, but at Miami, they probably are going to be favored if they have Lamar. At Minnesota might be they probably won't be favored, but at Cleveland they're favored, and they have the Jets. That's favored.
Yeah,
they should at least, on a bare minimum, win 3 of those games. Now, the only games of question would ultimately be the Chicago game and the Minnesota game, but they could win those too. They could come back and go 5 in a row and go to 6-5. They would be right back into the discussion in that division.
And they got Chicago when they come back from the bye?
Yeah, they have Chicago at home when they get back from the bye.
I think they will be favorites if they get back and beat Chicago.
Yes.
And beat them, and they see the difference with the guys coming back healthy. You got Lamar back. I think all of a sudden it flips. They'll start being a favorite. Maybe not a big favorite, but they will.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's first quarters in the book. We have overtime today, but we have first quarters in the book. Saturday morning sports page, Western Reserve Radio.
Are
Are you ready to join the legacy? This is your chance to become part of something special with the Youngstown Patricians. Honoring the proud football tradition of the Valley, we're on the lookout for talented post-high school athletes who want to make their mark on the field. Whether you're a seasoned high school athlete, college, or former professional player, develop your skills and become part of a team that values hard work, dedication, and community spirit. Don't wait. Begin your path to the gridiron by visiting youngstownpat.com or contacting us on Facebook at the Youngstown Patricians. Be bold, be legendary, join the Youngstown Patricians today.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Hey, let me ask you something. Would you seat your 3-year-old child on a windowsill? Would you seat them beside a lit fireplace or by the deep end of a pool? One last question. Would you seat your child in a car seat that's not correct for them? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Secure their future. Seat them in the correct car seat. For more information, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Sherman Gillums Jr., Paralyzed Veterans of America.
For more than 70 years, Paralyzed Veterans of America has helped hundreds of thousands of veterans get all the benefits they have earned.
Al Kovac Jr., Paralyzed Veterans of America.
We provide one-on-one support tailored to your individual needs, including healthcare advocacy, benefits support, and career assistance.
For more information, call 1-800-424-8200 or visit pva.org. A public service of Paralyzed Veterans of America.
Saturday morning sports page back. 330-707-4202 to get in and talk sports. Yeah, we're breaking down at least that division, the North Division. I think it's going to be a very interesting division as it lays out, because if Baltimore can get back into the kind of winning column, turn the corner here, they have the schedule's very interesting, is because they have Chicago.
Yep.
At home. That's going to be a big game, because here's the only thing you have with Baltimore. They really can't lose. They don't have a lot of flexibility. Their next few games, they can't lose. Like, they can't come back from that bye and lose to Chicago.
Right.
They really can't, because that would get them to, they'll be 1-6.
Yeah, I think it'd be pretty much
and that's
over.
going to be tough, because then, all right, they've got Miami, should be a win. At Minnesota is going to be dicey, but at Cleveland should be a win. But they always seem to have problems with Cleveland, but they should beat Cleveland, because I think Cleveland's is pretty much done. And then the Jets, they'll win that game at home. They should, because everybody's pretty much now thinking the Jets are done.
All right.
And then, but then after that, that's where the schedule gets ramped up, because they have kind of like Cincinnati home, Pittsburgh at home, but then at Cincinnati, 3 games against the 2 opponents in the division. But that's going to either, at that point, make or break them. But then after the Cincinnati, now we're getting into December, but then you have New England. And New England now, all of a sudden, that was a doormat. They look like the surprise team this year. New England could actually win their division over Buffalo. I don't rule that out, because I'm watching New England play.
Yeah.
And Rabel's got that team, just unbelievable defense, mean, tough. Rabel, because Rabel's a mean, tough guy. He's got the defense playing like him.
Yeah.
And then ultimately the offense with Drake May, it looks like they have found their quarterback. So now all of a sudden you've got to be looking at New England could be, quote, the surprise team this year. Which, again, we always talk about what team comes out of the doldrums. Every year you always have one of these teams that comes out of nowhere. New England could be that team this year.
Right. Yep. Yep, and they're playing well.
And they're playing well. They're tough. They're mean. That defense they're like Rabel. Mm-hmm. And the team is a good team. And now Drake May is the quarterback that he's really developed into a good, very young, good quarterback. And they look like they have their quarterback of the future.
Mm-hmm.
And they have their coach of the future.
Yeah.
Because Rabel's not going. Then, now you got to figure, why did Tennessee ever fire this man?
Well, it had to be some difference.
Allegedly,
that's what happens.
Rumor now is of the owner. The owner's daughter lives in Houston. She's calling all the shots from Houston. And evidently, speculation is people think that she, didn't like Rabel, or allegedly there were issues there, and she fired him.
Right.
And
that's what happened when you look at certain firings.
Right.
They fire them
because we have a disagreement.
Yep. That's what happens.
And
we're not compatible to work together.
Right.
So out the door you go.
Right. Even though Rabel was a great coach and a good coach for Tennessee, did a lot with nothing year in and year out.
Yeah.
He gets. You're right. We see it
happens all the time. I mean, that's just how it is.
That's it.
I hate to say it, but that's how they have some communication problems, and out the door you go.
Out the door.
Whereas other guys might be around, and not that they're bad, but if they're, like how many people holler for Kevin Stefanski or or Dable to be gone, they're still around. One, Stefanski got 2 Coach of the Year things behind him, so that keeps them afloat somewhat, even though I don't know who's calling the shots now, because some stuff I don't understand what he's doing at times now. And then Dable, I think him having a Coach of the Year type thing situation for him, they give him a little bit more rope per se to see what he do. And now their draft picks are doing the things they need, and he's probably buying them some time. Now, if they go on a tailspin, it could be a problem. But I don't really think they will. If they stay healthy, they'll be competitive all the way down.
The problem with the Giants, which I don't understand how a last place team can have such a brutal schedule, but the Giants have, I believe, the toughest schedule in the NFL.
Yeah, I forgot. Is it them, or it's a couple of teams that got that weren't good last year. I don't know if it's Cleveland too with them, but it's a couple of them. I don't understand why it's that bad.
According to this, the New York Giants have the hardest schedule for the 2025 based on opponent records from 2024. They have a combined opponent winning percentage of .574. Other teams with difficult schedules include the Chicago Bears, the Detroit Lions, and the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, I knew all of them down there. I didn't know about Detroit in them, but I remember seeing Cleveland's.
Cleveland's, I remember them being in here.
But I think it just, I guess, with seeing that many having such a hard schedule, it just brung your nose. But it has happened, and it showed a graphic when I seen this early in the season. It happens every year. You be wondering how's a team that might be 2-14 or 2-15, and they get this hard schedule. But it does happen. It happens.
Dallas has the 5th hardest schedule.
And they wasn't.
No, they weren't
a great team.
No, Minnesota 6, Green Bay 7, the Commanders 8, Baltimore 9, and the Steelers 10. So, the problem with the Giants' schedule, I've looked it up. Sadly, they're going to be struggling to get 4 wins out of that schedule. In fact, when I pulled up the schedule, I said to myself, okay.
You mean out of the remaining schedule, or?
Yeah. I think 4 wins, period.
Now, how many they have right now?
They got 2.
So you think they only can get 2 more out of the next?
Okay. Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. Like I said, I was looking at this schedule. I'm shaking my head, and I'm thinking in the back of my head, what did the Giants do to make the NFL mad at them? Because at the end of the day, they just don't. This is brutal, because it's like they're, I think, the only team, and I could be wrong, I usually am. I looked at this schedule, and When I pull this up, I'm looking at the teams that they have left. Okay. They got at Denver this week. They're a 7.5-point underdog.
Right.
They have San Francisco at home on, they've got Denver, Philly. They go at Philly 10-26. So they go Denver here this week, at Philly next week. They're not going to be favored in that game.
Right.
Okay. They come home, and they've got San Francisco home. They're going to, I don't
They
think
might
they're
not
going
be favored in those either. But
No. Now, can they, they're going at Denver. Denver doesn't score a lot.
Right.
Can they win this game? I don't know. I'm just saying that they have Denver, Philly, San Francisco, at Chicago, Green Bay, at Detroit, at New England. New England now being as good as they are.
Yeah, but at the beginning you would never think that.
Right.
See, that's what I'm saying. So,
but now New England is, and then they have Washington at home, Minnesota at home, Las Vegas at Vegas. They should be favored in that game, maybe, and then Dallas. And that's how they end their games. But I
could see them winning a few of those games, though. Because, I mean, and I can't see anything on the schedule part because some of those teams were not good football teams last year, but they are now.
The thing
but
is,
the Giants are playing better.
They
also.
are playing better.
And San Francisco is a mass unit.
But Dart has to not think he's Jim Brown. He can't run like he thinks he's, I'm watching him play, and don't get me wrong, I like the energy, but I see him lowering the shoulder, and he already got the concussion already that they're getting in trouble for because Dable's not very smart. When your quarterback's got the concussion, is and you don't follow him into the tent, then you're not yelling at the medical guy on national TV, get my quarterback back. You see, that's why I have a problem with Dable as a head coach. I don't think he has the emotional intelligence to do the job because he doesn't act like a good I think Todd Bowles is one of the best coaches in the league. I might be in a minority because all the people in Tampa Bay want him fired every time they think he makes a mistake. But Todd Bowles, to me, I always he would never do that.
No.
He would never yell at the medical person.
Now, as far as that, it's a lot of them that know how to conduct themselves, and wouldn't, you wouldn't see somebody like, I wouldn't even see a guy that is an emotional guy, but he wouldn't be like that as McVay. That's the guy that he's hyper.
McVay would never. No, he's hyper guy, but he would never be yelling at the medical, following the player.
Or throwing a clipboard or an iPad at a guy.
Right, like Dable has done.
Because you're belittling a pro player. You can't do that.
No.
And he's a grown man just like you. You got to go over and talk to him like he's a man.
Like a man.
And then, don't allow the public eye to see it because they always make it even worse.
Because you guys, and that's the other thing that you need to understand. You're the head coach. You're on camera. You've got eyes are all watching you.
Yeah.
Like you're on, everybody's watching what you do. So you have to act like, okay, I can't act like an idiot yelling at the players, throwing a clipboard or throwing an iPad, and I can't be following the guy into the blue tent, and I can't be yelling at the medical doctor, screaming and yelling about, well, you need to get him ready to. No, I think he had the concussion, but they put him back in anyway. They got away with it. They're going to get in a lot of trouble because the NFL is going to fine them. But as a head coach, you need to have the emotional intelligence not to do stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what may get him fired.
And that's
down the road easily. It's an easy out too,
right?
Because he's showing that under stress, I fall apart,
right?
And he's showing that he's stressed because he's trying to keep his job,
right?
So I need that guy in there to continue playing. But see, it sends a bad message because to your team to a certain extent too. Because one thing about it. He shows no confidence in anybody except Dart at quarterback. And you shouldn't do that at any position.
No.
Because it's called a football team. So at any time, somebody can go down major for your team, like Neighbors did. You can't be belittling somebody else and not paying attention to these other guys. You need them to step up. And if you belittle them, they may not want to play for you. These are grown men. They will not want to do anything for you. You just lose your job. They don't care. So he does. I mean, he flies off. Now, I got to say that he flies off. This is not, even though the media was there with a guy like Mike Ditka, who would fly off too. But that's a different time. It's a different
Yeah,
era
that's
of
back
play.
in the 80s, right?
You know,
it's a different right.
time. And I know you still had media around, but people looked at that differently back then because of how football was played. It was just mean, nasty. It's just completely type
of
game.
You could still lead with your head.
Oh, you could do all kind of stuff. You knock guys' heads off, clothesline or whatever you want to do.
Right.
You know, it's a different game. This game is a little bit more under control. You still got big hits and things like that, but it's a little bit more under control. So that got to translate to the coaches. Got to be more under control. Dable loses it too much and too often, and it's for dumb things. You can't. You did that to Daniel Jones. I remember when he did that.
Yeah, I remember when he
in
threw
that game.
that iPad.
They got destroyed in that game too, because you don't think the other guys looked at that and said, "Wait a minute, that's our quarterback. You doing that to him? What you do to me? Now I don't want to play for you."
And that's
something, you know. So, you know, that was really a dumb move last when they kept showing that over and over about him going and screaming in the thing. I mean, it just made no sense because it looks. Yeah, I mean, how would Jackson Dart's family feel? That they concerned that their son has a concussion,
and Dable's
and he's like, "Get him in there, get him in there,
get him in." This isn't the 1970s and 60s where they did that.
Yeah.
Or 80s and 90s.
Yeah. I mean, play with concussions. I
know they all did.
Well, you did.
Everybody did.
Anytime you got, I told you that. If you got smelling salt,
you got a concussion.
You had a concussion.
Look at Brett Favre said he thinks he probably had he would tell you he probably had 3 to 4 concussions a game. The way he talks, he says, "Oh yeah," he goes, "I slammed my head on that turf." He goes, "Yeah, I woke up, I got woozy, the smelling, I was back in." He goes, "I probably had at least 3 concussions a game that I can think of."
I think about a hit. It's a classic hit that was shown for years. We don't see it now. I don't think they want to show it. But I remember Joe Turkey Jones.
Oh yeah. Bradshaw
on his head. I mean, straight down
I remember
on his head.
That
I'll never forget that. I said, "Oh man, that dude's dead." I mean, it was brutal.
I remember watching that game I remember living in Columbus at the time. The game was on Pittsburgh and Cleveland because they got all the Cleveland games and the Bengal games. So it's where you lived in Columbus, you got both Cleveland and the Bengals every week. It was,
you get both of them on.
You got them both because you obviously had now the only problem is sometimes they had to make a decision if they were both on 1:00 at CBS, then you would get almost like they'd alternate it, like Pittsburgh and Cleveland here in Youngstown. They had that dilemma, if you want to call it that, in Columbus, where if Cleveland Browns and the Bengals were on at 1:00 on CBS, then they had to make a decision which one. Now, if one was on Fox and one was on CBS, then you got them both. But if it was anyway, so the whole point of it is I remember watching that game, and I remember that Bradshaw was like fighting with him, and Bradshaw would not go down, and Turkey Jones to this day picked him up like a rag doll and picked him up and threw him up, down, and threw him on his head.
Yeah.
And I've never seen anything like that. And even Bradshaw basically didn't think it was a dirty hit because Bradshaw goes, "No, I was, I wouldn't go down, and I was fighting for the ball, and, I know." Like, Bradshaw's funny because he says, "That wasn't a dirty hit. It was just, I guess in a way I had it coming to me because I wasn't going to go down, and Turkey Jones made sure I was going to go down."
That's a different
But
time.
that's a different era. That was the 70s.
Yeah. I mean, and you learn to play football that way.
Yeah.
If you're not all the way down, you come in, you spear guys, you do
all the
whatever
time.
you want it. And it's just, I mean, it's just different now. So you gotta be smart not to do certain things. I don't think he can do that, But I wasn't looking at Dable at all. Just looking at the energy and the way the Giants are playing. Now, I think Dart continue to run. He could do that, but he has to get down sometimes. He can't run over. He's not going to be able to run over, especially linebackers. He might do that at defensive backs, but he got to watch even them too. He's got to get smart and I see that like Josh Allen, he'll still run over guys,
But he does
but
take.
he picks.
slide.
He picks his poison, as they say.
Yeah.
He'll do it here if it's like, hey, I'm getting that first down. He might run a guy over. He's getting that first down, but in most cases, he'll do something to stay out of harm's way.
Yeah, that's my concern with Dart. Is I think he's great in that he's given the Giants energy. He plays with energy. He can make he seems to be making the throws. He's hitting the guys. I mean, I like the way he's playing.
Right.
And he's energized the Giants. Now, my concern is he needs to stay healthy, because if he is out, that team is done, because they're not that team. The air comes out of the proverbial balloon when they put Russell Wilson in. They're just like, I don't know what. It's just they just fall apart. I'm just blunt to the point.
But see that and I'm not there in their locker room. But
I don't know.
But that could be the coach.
That could be. Yeah, I think it could be.
Well, it can, because if the coach translate to you as a player, that got no confidence in another guy,
and I think,
and then they go down. What are you gonna think? He's already implanted that. Somebody keep telling you something over and over, and it's subliminal. They don't come out and say, "Hey, I don't." But they give you that message.
You could see the team, body language on that team when they brought in Russell Wilson for the 1 or 2 plays. The body language on that team was horrendous. As far as then,
so where do you get that from? I mean, you got to get it from somebody.
Getting it from
because when he played, he made some mistakes, but and if you just took the whole circumstance of him, he wasn't that horrible. No. He was able to move the team. He was able to do things, and you want to keep. That's why it was a smart thing what the Cincinnati Bengals did. Jake Browning, a couple years ago, came in and did an excellent job.
Good.
Now you got to think about: do I want to? It's not a lot of great backups, so keep this guy, and you want them to not lose confidence in Jake Browning in case you need him again for a game or two. So you get another guy in there that can handle this mentally, which is Joe Flacco. Browning was really having a meltdown. He was on the sideline. He was just all confident. He lost confidence in himself. So get that guy out so you can salvage him, and then allow him to regenerate. And if you need him, he's there. But you can't give that message off to your team, because when you do that, then guys start thinking about their own position. If they're backup, if they're that second guy coming in. Does he have confidence in me? And when you start doubting yourself, you're in bad shape. I remember my dad telling me that from a youngster, as far as when I was boxing. That was my main sport when I was young. And, I mean, when you translate that you don't have confidence, it does some major damage to a person. And it can, because, they think they can't do the job. And that's why I say about Stefanski and the situations there, all the stuff that's going on, makes no sense. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
I mean,
the Browns are,
and if they thinking about getting a quarterback in the first round,
matter.
why? What? But I'm talking about why.
I know.
They're trying to manufacture guys now, and this is no slight to him, because I think he could be a first round draft choice. I've seen him before. Mendoza for Indiana. Oh, yeah. I liked him when he's at California. He's a good quarterback. He's a good player. Always been a good player. Yep. But they're trying to push him into being the number 1 pick in the draft. Don't do that. The guy is good. Just leave him alone.
Let it go.
He may be a first-round pick, but don't try to make him the first pick in the draft.
Well, but that's what they're...
I know. Yeah, but they don't need to do that to that guy. And really, nobody has stepped up to be... we still got some more college football to play, but let's see. But I mean, you need to be checking to see what your guys got there, and you're going to keep playing Dylan Gabriel. Go ahead, your short passing game that's not generating anything. Your defense is a championship defense.
That good defense is good, but they wear it out.
Yeah, you're gonna wear it out. And look at that. Pittsburgh was up 9-0.
Yeah,
I think we was all the way into the third quarter. 9-0.
9-0.
Yeah, most NFL teams they're in it with no problem, but that offense can't move anywhere.
Can't do anything.
And why are you doing the short passing games? That doesn't work. Man. Maybe because Dylan can't see down the field. Maybe so. I don't know. But it's just so much dumb. I mean, the NFL players everybody is on him. He said that one player said that he should let Dylan start, go back, Shador, find out what these guys got.
Yeah, yes, I agree.
And I heard somebody make a comment, which is kind of surprising, but James Harrison, and you'll find it if you go on YouTube. This is a Pittsburgh guy,
right?
But he said, "Why aren't you playing? Why? Okay, you didn't have Dylan a couple. Go ahead and put Shador in."
Yeah, I agree.
He said, but they don't want him because they said Shador brings too much attention. He's got all the flashy stuff. So he said, if that's the case, look at Jackson Dart. Look at how he influenced.
Yeah.
He got his little dance going on.
Right.
He got his chains. He got everything.
He's going on.
He got it all going on, and it infused energy.
It did.
So then James, and you got to find it on you'll see it on the internet. He showed the video of how it infused the energy, and then they showed the preseason games when Dylan was quarterbacking. The team was watching very intently, but when Shador was in there, everybody rose. They want to see because he brings some kind of energy. The Browns need it on offense.
They need it bad.
Because you wasted that defense.
Yeah. Yeah, that defense
that defense is ridiculous.
Good defense.
Oh my God.
They just can't.
But after a while, they're going to get tired.
Yeah, they just wear them out.
Yeah.
And that's what's good. You see it. How many times have we seen this? Great defense, absolutely one of the worst offenses. But I think if you are Cleveland at this point in time, I think that if this game they have Miami.
Yeah,
but that game is going to be 50-mile-an-hour winds up there. I guess it's just going to be a bad day up in Cleveland.
Yeah, it's supposed to have a storm.
Yeah, it's supposed to have like a bad storm blow through. So I don't know how much passing you're going to do up there in the wind tunnel. And we'll get to Cleveland. Looks like they're going to go to Brook Park now, $100 million. But I guess the city council has to approve it. The mayor did it, but the mayor didn't get, evidently, from what I've read, didn't get city council approval. He just did this because he couldn't turn down $100 million. Not that I blame him, but the point is, evidently now the city council are going, hey, wait a minute. We want, we don't think this is right. We'll have a slab there, and then we'll get to that. But the whole point is getting back to Cleveland. Yeah, they need to go personally. I agree. They need to get Shador. Get him in there, and let's see what you got. I mean, Dylan Gabriel is 5'11", if he's that, and that's probably pushing it.
Yeah, I think it's pushing.
He's not. But you know your limitations there. Another game or two, but get Shador in and see what you have. Maybe he can give them the energy, a Jackson Dart type energy, young quarterback. Maybe the guys will get like, hey, this is, he'll maybe make some great plays, get the offense going.
And I know
you got nothing to lose here, Cleveland, because you're in last place. You're staying there. You're not going anywhere.
Right.
See what you have, because you're going to end up probably with maybe the number one pick next year. And you got to decide, do you want to get one of these quarterbacks coming out?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you do that or not. I
don't know. That's what you won't know.
But it just confuses me because he brings in, and I don't think there's nothing wrong with bringing in Bailey Zappi to your structure. You got rid of Flacco. You want another veteran in there.
Yeah, you could. Right.
But what are you doing playing with it? Whether or not he's in front of Shador, or maybe even playing in front of Dylan. I was reading that stuff. That. What are you doing?
Don't do that.
Let your young guys play and find out what you got.
You get Shador in. I would play Shador. I want to see what I have there. I know what I kind of have with Dylan Gabriel. If you want to play Dylan Gabriel another game or two, fine. But, you're not going to win. I don't know. Maybe you beat Miami this week. We'll talk about it. But at the end of the day, I would be trying to Shador. I would get him in and see what he's got. Maybe he might surprise you, and he might get in there and give you some energy, start winning games, and say, hey, maybe this guy could be our future.
Yeah. They got to do something.
You got to do something. You've got these two quarterbacks you drafted,
and I like Dylan's passing game, but that's the old Bill Walsh. It doesn't work the same today.
Saturday Morning Sports Page. We're at halftime. Back after a quick timeout on Western Reserve Radio.
the stations that are always ahead of the game. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast. Youngstown, Ohio.
Here's a fun fact for you. The average chameleon can point their eyes in 2 different directions. On the other hand, the average human can't. So unless you're a chameleon, there's absolutely no way you can focus on texting and driving at the same time. So don't do it, unless you're a chameleon.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Are you ready to hit the gridiron and make your mark? The Cleveland Cobras are recruiting players and coaches for the upcoming Premier Amateur Football League season. We're looking for passion, grit, and the relentless drive to win. Whether you're a seasoned vet or hungry rookie, your shot starts now. Join a brotherhood, build a legacy, strike with the Cobras. Follow us on Facebook at Cleveland Cobras Football, or for league information, visit TAFLfootball.com to get started today. Team, pride, Cobras. Are you ready to join the legacy? This is your chance to become part of something special with the Youngstown Patricians. Honoring the proud football tradition of the Valley, we're on the lookout for talented post-high school athletes who want to make their mark on the field. Whether you're a seasoned high school athlete, college, or former professional player, develop your skills and become part of a team that values hard work, dedication, and community spirit. Don't wait. Begin your path to the gridiron by visiting youngstownpat.com or contacting us on Facebook at the Youngstown Patricians. Be bold, be legendary. Join the Youngstown Patricians today.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Saturday morning sports page coming right back at you. Go to noon today, so a lot to get to, though, always. Talked a lot first hour, talked a lot first quarter, I guess first half. Not to confuse us, not that we need confusion. We operate on confusion, especially when we're doing our picks. That's neither. We didn't do good last week.
Yeah.
We had another rough week.
That's the last of the rough ones.
Let's hope so. Let's try to turn a corner. Only thing we might turn the corner to an oncoming train. I don't know what's going on. Talked a lot about Steelers, the Bengals, the division, and the Ravens, and how that's going to be a very interesting division if the Ravens can get on track, which they may. Steelers, they played, their offense isn't the problem. Their defense, a lot of people are questioning the defense for Pittsburgh after giving up 33 points to the Bengals on Thursday night and making Joe Flacco look like Johnny Unitas. Flacco played a great game.
Yep.
If he could continue to do that, it's only one game. But if Flacco can throw the ball, he's got the receivers. Jamar Chase, in my eyes, is the best wide receiver in the game right now. I think he's the best. You could argue, say, I don't know, bring another name. But right now, if you ask me who's the best wide receiver in NFL, I say Jamar Chase. I've watched him. He's an unbelievable talent. And T. Higgins, man, for the number 2 guy, he's the best number 2 guy in the league. He should be number 1, but in that, he's just slightly below Jamar Chase. You got the best one, and then you got the best second wide receiver in the league. They got the 2 best receivers if you break it down on a team. Like 1 and 2, you've got the 2 best in the league with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
Yeah, and you know, the offense got a lot to do with your philosophy on offense. It's hard to pick them for me because I look at it and I say, okay, Jamar. I do say that sometimes Jamar Chase is the best, but I look at the way things are constructed. You know, because let's say I take Jamar Chase off the Cincinnati Bengals. This is with them fully healthy. Joe Burrow at quarterback, and I say, I want Jamar Chase out. He's out. But I'm going to put Justin Jefferson in. I don't think you even drop off.
No, you don't. No.
There's no drop off.
No, there's not.
Because he's catching everything.
Yeah, just
he's running
yeah.
right. I mean, his route running is so good.
Right.
He's going to run right past guys.
You can make arguments.
But
That's
it's the
a
offensive
beautiful
philosophy
part. Yep.
where you can't really see what's what,
Yep.
So, but that tandem is great. I like the tandem in the Rams, but they see their philosophy on offense is a lot different.
Yeah, because McVay is your guy.
But you got Puka and Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
That's a great tandem. They don't use it. Yeah. To be honest with you, the stinking offense of the Philadelphia Eagles got two very good wide
Oh, they great two very
But they just right now they're just doing calisthenics.
Yeah, they're just struggling.
They're not
No.
playing. They're not. All
No,
those
no.
guys do is block and just run around the
they
field
just-
because they don't use them.
They're disorganized.
And they thought there wouldn't be a drop off from the offensive coordinator. And the guy Kevin Patullo, who's been there, he's not their offensive coordinator. They're not the same.
No.
The guy, terrible play calling. How do you I just look at it, I said, so inconsistent. One game you try to run all day. The next game you don't even give Saquon the ball because he said we can't run. And I believe this. And I would wonder how Jim, who's an offensive lineman, what did he think about this? The running game, I think, is just it's got a lot to do with attitude. If you want to run the football, then run the football. Defense could be tough all they want, but if you keep pounding and you got a great player, and you got a good offensive line, you're going to break one sooner or later. It's an attitude, but the guys just give up on the running game. You can't do that.
Let's hit
keep
the
running.
Yep. Yeah, right.
Just keep pounding them.
Let's hit the phones. You're on the sports page. What's up?
Good morning, Pat. Good morning, Dave. How you guys doing?
Hey, good. Irish Mike.
Doing well. It's kind of a rough Thursday night for both Andrew Barry and Kevin Stefanski, huh? I wonder.
Yeah.
What happened to
the
Andrew?
Cleveland
He got
Sports Talk
fired.
Show guys yesterday were going nuts. They were going nuts. They thought it was an indictment on both of them in various ways.
Yeah. Well, Tomlin's not happy that they traded Flacco either to the Bengals, only to have him beat you on Thursday night, and people are questioning because they like to, because they're going, well, why does, oh man, I was listening to Sports Talk yesterday, Mad Dog Russo, and Monica from Allentown called in, and boy, she just railed on the Steelers and Tomlin. And she just was so critical of them. And she goes, why does Tomlin care? Why do the Steelers care that they traded Flacco within the division? What impact did they have? Excellent caller. Brings up good points. Why does Tomlin care that, Flacco's now a Bengal? Why would you even bring that up and talk about it? Worry about your own team and your own issues. Why worrying about what other teams do? It was very interesting and very good. Again, an excellent caller. But the point is, we're getting back now, though. You just brought up the Thursday thing. Now the Cleveland people are mad because of what Flacco did against the Steelers on Thursday. Why did we trade him? Why did we basically give him away? Because what was it, a 5th round pick or something?
Yeah.
So it's like you just gave your best guy, well, not your best guy, but of your quarterbacks, you gave your quarterback away, who obviously still has a lot in the tank.
Yeah.
Flacco's not done.
No, he can still play.
But,
like I said earlier, I put on one hand Jerry Jeudy. I put on the other hand Jamar Chase. I put on the other hand, I can't even think who they are. Isaiah Bond, T. Higgins. Come on.
I know.
And the blocking is near the same as far as pass protection.
Yeah.
But when he gets rid of it, he's
just
getting into the hands of guys that they will not drop it in most cases, and they're going to make big plays when they get it on.
And you noticed the game Thursday night, what he was doing. It had a running game, though, too, that was really big. But he was hitting those quick passes over the middle to Jamar Chase and Higgins. They were those real quick sprint routes where they go down and in real
Yeah.
quick, and he's hitting those over the middle, and Joe Flacco hits them in stride,
Yeah.
and they end up really
And
big.
Cleveland don't really run a
No.
lot of that.
No,
Theirs
they don't.
is more to the outside.
Right.
And yes, Flacco can stand flat-footed and put it right on a dime, but those sometimes don't create big plays
No.
like when you can get a receiver on the run and trap. And then the scheming. Zach Taylor's scheming on the offense of opening up the lanes, running lanes,
Yeah.
so that when they catch the ball, they have area to run. He's scheming a better offense than Stefanski. I mean, basically, that's what it is. And you don't have the talent at those positions.
No, I don't think
what I'm
Cleveland's
saying?
got the talent
No,
on the team.
no.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Below average wide receivers at best. I mean,
Yeah,
you're being
and I
tough.
think that's being right, and that's a lot of the problem. When you get Cleveland, you could just see roster-wise, they just don't have a good roster. Now, I guess there's depends on who do you want to blame, because again, in Cleveland, you got to blame somebody here,
yeah.
and I don't
mean,
know.
Stefanski's
if
holding on that job. I don't know if he got pictures on somebody. He got some info on
Well,
somebody.
I think what's going to,
but,
he's another one. If they fire him, he'll get hired. Someone will hire him right away.
yeah, I think he would get a
I
job.
think he's going to get a job real quick, because I think a lot
Is
of
the loser of tomorrow's game going to be out of a full job Monday?
Yeah, I think that's a good possibility. I
It's
think
a
the
good
loser of the Miami Cleveland. I don't know about Stefanski yet, because I think Haslam will keep him, because I think Haslam knows he kind of just screwed him over with the Deshaun Watson situation. I don't think Stefanski. I could be wrong, but I don't think Stefanski gets fired in mid-year. I think Haslam knows the situation there, and I think he stays. I think the other guy in Miami I think if they lose to Cleveland, he may win and lose his job anyway. I mean, that coach down there.
Yeah, McDaniels.
I think McDaniels, maybe he could lose his job if he loses, maybe. I don't know, though. They might ride him out to the end of the year and not fire. Because here's the problem. When you fire, especially in football, when you fire your coach mid-year, you're done. Your season's over.
Yeah.
No team. You ever notice that? Like I remember when the Jets fired Saleh last year with Rodgers. I go, once you fire your coach, you're done. But bad organizations do that. Like the Jets do it. They're talking about firing Aaron Glenn already over there. But they're the Jets.
Yeah.
You see, the Cleveland Browns have the Jets to look to as far as who's more dysfunctional than us. The Jets are.
Yeah.
I'm convinced the Jets are the most dysfunctional
I think.
team.
I think.
Do
I used to always think that before the Jets, without question. I don't know sometime now.
Now you don't know.
No,
Okay.
I don't. I really, because
Okay.
I mean,
I can I don't.
I don't understand what the Browns do.
I
just don't get it.
I don't
now.
think they have a good roster, and I don't know if they had a good defense,
Right.
but they've got no offense. How do you have that such a large gap in your team when you have a great defense, but your offense is just dog awful putrid?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So you had the money to get guys. You did have the money to actually go out and get guys, and you didn't. How does that
I don't
happen?
understand it.
I don't get that.
Is that the GM?
Yeah, well, it's a combination. He's part of it.
You know, Dave Clark, often the last 2 or 3 years, a lot of people have been very, very critical, fans and people around the league, of the Cincinnati Bengals front office and saying, you know, you got a franchise quarterback in Joey Burrow, and your offensive line is below average at best, and you need to do. But look what they've done, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
They've used the draft. They used free agency. They used trade. They've tried everything.
Yeah, they tried.
It's not like they haven't tried.
Yeah.
Obviously, they've misevaluated guys, but they're taking guys in the first round. They're signing Orlando Brown Jr., high-priced free agents, right? They're bringing people in.
Oh, yeah, they definitely bring it in. It's not that they haven't tried. That's why I'll still say that they were one. Now, they're trying to spend some money, but they were one of the cheapest ownerships to never want to spend money on anybody. But you can't fault them this time. They spent money. They went out. You are exactly right.
Now, the person that seems to be getting a lot of criticism is Paul DePodesta of the Browns.
Yeah, and he lives in San Diego. He does everything out of San Diego.
Right. And there are people believing that he is a large part of the problem. His decisions and what he's doing, And this Paul DePodesta, I've heard this from other callers. Like one caller had called in, a Cleveland caller had called in to Mad Dog Russo's station, and he was really, he was talking about it in detail. And he said he believed a lot of the problem with the Browns is Paul DePodesta and his decision making and how he's putting this team together. And he's kind of under the radar because he's the chief strategy officer. He's not the GM. Mm-hmm. And I don't know exactly how the salary structure is, but there's people that are critical of him.
Yeah, and what's so weird about him? I'm glad Irish Mike brought that up. Or did you? Whoever brought that up just now about him? He stays in San Diego, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
But you knew he's been with the Browns. How long you think he might have been there so far?
I think he's been around since 2018, 2019. He's been there about 6-7 years.
7 years, right? Now he was a guy that was seen in this area a lot. Maybe back in 2020 something. I forgot what it was. But he was a guy that was seen a lot in our area. I knew people that pointed him out at a high school football game here in the air.
Yeah, he's a baseball guy.
Yeah, and he was always in this area. So a guy that would be around, that means he was around the Browns a lot, right here with them. Now they say he does a lot of the work out from Cali. Now you out there, you're not even in the building, and you're doing stuff. I don't agree with that. I think you have to be in the building a lot to get a feel for what's going on in the organization in which you work in. I don't think you do it remotely in the NFL or NBA. Anything. I think you can't do that. I think you need to be in the building to get a feel for what exactly is going on.
See, he started, to give you a breakdown on him, he started with the Cleveland Indians in baseball. That was his first job.
Yeah.
And then he went to the Oakland A's in 96. He started with Cleveland. Then he went to the Oakland A's in 99, and he was part of the Billy Bean Moneyball. Then at age 31 in 04, he went to the Dodgers, and he was there. And then he ultimately ended up San Diego. He went to San Diego in 06, the Padres, and the Mets in 2010. You're right, Irish Mike. He went to the Cleveland Browns January 5th of 2016. Yeah. Now, that's going on. It'll be 10 years. It is. So, but he helped facilitate the Deshaun Watson trade.
Mm-hmm. And they kicked the can down the road on that contract. For money-wise, as far as when they're going to pay him, 26, 27, because they're trying. They have that win mode now mentality, and so you didn't want to pay him as much because the cap number. So with the proverbial financial, you kick that can down the road. So I think next year they owe him $80 million.
Right.
Deshaun Watson, because he's got one more year left on his contract. And so, because I asked friends who fall closer than I do the last year and a half, 2 years, I said, how come other NFL teams, when the Kansas City Chiefs traded Hill a couple years ago, the Miami Dolphins, I said, other teams have made big trades, the guys they really love and didn't want to trade, but financial cap situation forced them to make trades of guys that were really good, for a fourth-round draft pick just to get rid of the contract. And I said, The Browns have not done that yet, per se.
See,
that was the answer I got. They were kicking the can down the road financially.
Here, the problem with this contract will haunt them forever and will put them in the Hall of Fame of worst contracts ever and maybe worst trade ever, is the cap hit next year is $80 million.
Correct.
The dead cap hit next year is $131 million. That's a lot of dead cap money to deal with. And then you're trying to put a team together and you're trying to work around $131 million of dead cap money. And I know these teams get creative, but you can't be that creative with that kind of number. Yeah. So your problem you ultimately have is you hamstring the team in some, and this is what not only was the trade bad, but this contract you can make the argument really was a detriment to the team because of the dead cap hit. They can't get rid of this guy, and you're paying him a boku of money, and he's not doing it. The worst thing, we talk about it, the worst thing you can do is have a player woefully underperforming their contract. Yeah. I mean, you look at this in nuts and bolts and the GM files and the paper and the numbers on the paper. That's the nightmare of any sports management, any person,
Any
when
business,
any business, when you have a person underperforming, woefully underperforming a contract, you hamstring that team. And to some large extent, you can almost go back to Cleveland in this contract and the impact it's had on the team.
Yeah, and they didn't think it out at all. They're
No.
just trying to get a player. And the thing about it, you need to think that out. There's nothing wrong with making that trade and getting Deshaun Watson, but you got to look at it. He's been away from football for a year. You got to think it all the way through.
Right.
And we're going to pay a certain amount to get this guy and bring him in and slowly get him back into playing NFL caliber football. You know, a guy just don't fall off the ledge like that at his age. Where, I mean, we've seen how he played. That dude was an MVP candidate all the time.
With Houston.
And then all of a sudden, now he can't play. There's something wrong. There's something in the water in Cleveland.
Nor does he want to play.
No, that's it.
Clark, nor do,
Well, you know what? I wouldn't want to play myself because I'm looking at, I come here, I know I got a lot of stuff against me. Then I'm not performing. I'm putting so much pressure on myself to perform. You can see it too. Pressing, trying to do all kinds of stuff when he was playing. You can't do that. You got to just play relax and stuff. But he had so much pressure on him. Then he gets hurt over and over. So everything's on him.
Dave Clark, I was told in May of 2024, a year and a half ago, May, springtime, by someone who would know, because he's got a lot of connections throughout the Cleveland sports scene, that the biggest concern Brown ownership and front office has is Deshaun Watson did not want to play anymore. This is 6 months before he tore his Achilles tendon. When he was healthy, that he did not want to play anymore.
Yeah.
That was their biggest concern.
Well, I think the stuff that's going on, I really believe mentally it had a significant effect. And he probably he actually needed to sit out of football for a minute and regroup. I forgot who said that before Cleveland ever signed him. He needed to sit out of football and just regroup and get himself back, because when you lose the mental part of playing, especially professional sport,
which he did.
What he did. Yeah, you can't do it. And then you got the people are on you. They so mad at Deshaun Watson. And I told somebody one day, I said, why would you be mad at Deshaun Watson? Let me ask you a question. If somebody offered you $240 million, are you taking it?
No, you always say, no,
I'm running down the street. I'm not even driving. I might have a car there, but I might run to the bank.
Let's go down memory lane, though, Dave Clark. And so he made this comment yesterday in Cleveland Sports Talk Radio. When he was on the, everybody agreed to deals. You had to give up 3 first-round draft picks and later picks for this deal to go play, and you're going to have a big contract. Remember, Houston allowed him to negotiate with teams, remember?
Right.
Negotiate and figure this out. And it was it was New Orleans, Atlanta, Carolina, and the Cleveland Browns.
Right.
And the first team he turned down was the Cleveland Browns. Members all over. He's not coming to Cleveland.
Right.
And then 48 hours later, it was all over network. He's coming to Cleveland because that's when they gave him the guaranteed money.
That's right.
So basically, people said something yesterday. Well, he didn't want to come here in the first place. Cleveland was not his first choice.
No, he was going to go to Atlanta.
Atlanta was where I think he really wanted to go.
He had the Atlanta jersey ready he was ready to go on TV. He had the Atlanta jersey in the background. The deal was allegedly done, and he was ready to go on. And then
Georgia.
Right, and then Cleveland came in.
And how you turn that down?
Right, and gave him the old Godfather. I'm giving you an offer you can't refuse. And he's like, okay, where's my Cleveland Brown jersey? I'm going there now.
And they the thing about it, if I'm a quarterback, I'm gonna research stuff. He didn't want to go to Cleveland. Why not? What's their record with quarterbacks? They don't develop quarterbacks. The last one, I retract something. I said the last one they developed was Frank Ryan, but no, I forgot about Bernie Kosar.
Yeah, Kosar.
But Kosar, and then you got to go from Kosar to Frank Ryan, 1950 something.
Yeah, Ryan won the championship in 64.
Right.
And then Bernie was 20 years later in the 80s.
And then nobody else.
And then, in that gap between Ryan and Bernie,
there was a whole bunch of guys.
You had guys.
Phipps, you just guys. That's right.
Phipps, Sipe.
Well, Sipe wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Wasn't bad.
You could probably make the argument that it was Frank Ryan and Sipe maybe, and then Bernie. And then it was kind of but they never really had, actually, the greatest quarterback they ever had was Otto Graham back in the 50s, so they won all those championships year and made Paul Brown the greatest coach ever. But that gets back to that whole discussion. You need a great quarterback for the great coach, a la Bill Belichick with no Tom Brady. Again, you got that situation. But the whole point of it is the quarterback. A good coach needs a great quarterback. I don't care who your coach is. And you got to have a great quarterback or a very good quarterback.
Yeah.
Andy Reid. Andy Reid's a great coach, but now he's got Pat Mahomes. He's a greater coach.
Right.
But again, you go back, what's the common denominator here? Quarterback.
Yeah. And I just look back.
Getting back.
I wouldn't want to play at the Browns. I'm just saying as a quarterback.
But here's the thing, too. To get on his contract next year, the league cap, the percentage of the cap hit next year is 26%. They restructured this deal and they backloaded all the money at the end of the contract. Again,
Correct. They kept kicking the can down the road.
Yes. What do you do? In fact, get this, back in 2027, basically when he becomes an unrestricted free agent, they still take a dead cap hit of $50 million.
Right.
Because that's what they restructured it. He's not even on the team. He can sign with another team, and you're going to take a dead cap hit of $50 million.
Yeah. Well,
Who does this?
They are. They have to win now, Mo. We need to win now. We can't wait 2 or 3 years. Everything's got to be win now.
They
make a playoffs in 23, and they've been terrible the last 2 years, and it doesn't look good for next year. Let's be honest.
No, and I understand the win now attitude. Why? You got that defense, who is a championship caliber defense. You got to win now with that because you're not going to have it too much longer. And but that's the thing. I said the Browns they're scared because they kicked the can. You were right about that, kicking the can down the road. But this is the thing. They scared of getting rid of Watson to a certain extent. Because wonder if he goes somewhere else and all of a sudden goes
catches
back.
Fire.
And they scared of Shador because they don't want to play him. Wonder if he does good or he goes somewhere else and performs for somebody else. They don't want to have.
Well,
quit playing scared.
The only thing Shador's got going for him, if you're a Cleveland, like if you're
a rookie contract,
the contract,
yeah.
He's going to stay. I'm convinced. I think they're going to. Because he's a 5th-round pick. I can look up his numbers. I know his numbers are nothing. He's staying with the team, and they'll try to develop him. With a 5th-round pick, a 5th-round contract, he's got that they're keeping Shador at least.
I think it's only a couple million or something like that.
It's nothing compared to Watson. And they have to that's how you basically get how you bail yourself out of a Watson contract. Now that contract, Watson's contract, is so horrific, but at least a chance of at least bailing part of yourself out is if Shador does catch fire and play good, or even Dylan Gabriel starts to come around. But you have to find out. You got to play these guys. But the point is that could be your bailout because that's what San Francisco did when they got Trey Lance and he was a bust.
Right.
Brock Purdy was the bailout because he was the last guy in the draft. They paid him nothing. He caught fire, and then they basically got rid of Trey Lance. Mm-hmm. But that contract, Trey Lance was a rookie contract. It wasn't as bad. The Deshaun Watson contract could be the worst contract in sports history. With the trade and everything.
It is. Everything
when you
that
break
happened.
it all down, that could be the whole worst transaction in sports history.
Oh, yeah, it is. It is.
And it's not even close.
And I just... I don't know what they're doing. I just think when people talk about they set Shador up for failure to a certain extent, I feel he's set up for failure, and so is Dylan Gabriel. Because the reason I say that, now, yes, he is short, but that passing game that they do, little crossing patterns or little outs, his timing is so good on him. He is able to complete them.
Yeah, they drop the ball.
Sometimes they drop it, but the thing about it, they throw 3-yard outs, 4-yard outs.
I know.
And then they can't get the first down anyway.
No.
So how long can you go with that as an offense and be successful in the NFL? It's scoring points. You got to score, and a lot of these teams can, and Cleveland can't. So I just don't know what's going on. You gotta win some games.
You know what? You could fire. If you want to fire Stefanski, okay.
You better wait till the end of the season.
But guess what? who are you going to get that's going to make it any better? You're not. I have a good friend of mine that he's a Brown fan. Hold on, Irish Mike. We got college football to get to at the top of the. We'll come back. We'll get to our college football after this quick timeout on Western Reserve Radio.
Nina's Pierogi House is your home for the area's best variety of pierogies. Daily specials include the Polish platter, the Hungarian platter, stuffed cabbage, and halushki. Having a last-minute get-together? Lena's has you covered with a wide variety of frozen take-home pierogies and dumplings. Go to Facebook at Lena's Pierogi House to see the weekly lineup of available flavors for dine-in or carry-out. Catch the best at Lena's Monday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Tuesday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 20 North Main Street in Hubbard or call 234-254-8532. The Village Tavern's been a beloved local landmark in Hubbard, Ohio for nearly a century, and now it's better than ever. Recently renovated and still serving up the same warm hospitality, the Village Tavern is your go-to spot for great food, cold drinks, and a laid-back atmosphere. Whether you're stopping in for dinner, catching up with friends, or just looking to relax, you'll enjoy a full menu of American favorites, rotating drink specials, and friendly service that makes every visit memorable. Be sure to visit the Village Tavern at 746 North Main Street in Hubbard, right next to Repair That Glass. To learn more, go to villagetavern3.com. Are you tired of switching apps just to catch your favorite shows and live events? Say hello to the iMedia1 Network app, your one-stop destination for streaming and everything that matters. From national sports to exclusive local content, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast are now all in one place, anytime, anywhere. Download the free iMedia1 Network app on iOS and Android and unlock the future of sports audio in the palm of your hand. The iMedia1 Network, your sports app in the Valley.
Question. When you walk into the boardrooms of the most successful companies here in Ohio, who do you meet? Answer. Men and women who played high school sports. Education-based high school sports give us more than athletes we can root for. They give us leaders we can depend on. Question. So where will we find tomorrow's leaders? Answer. High school sports.
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Saturday morning sports page back at you. Let's get Irish Mike back in. Hey, Irish Mike.
Hi, gentlemen.
Good. Let's.
Hey, I was thinking, Lucia, think about this, guys. 3 weeks ago tonight in Happy Valley, Pennsylvania, Penn State was winning by 7 points in overtime.
Yeah.
And 15 days later, James Franklin was out of a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, hey, I said that last week.
Later.
Didn't I say it last week? Yeah. I said James Franklin should be gone.
Western, he's going to lose his job.
It's the coaching. You know, after we got off the air last week, and I said, okay, I made some points on there. Let me see if I can look up some information. So I looked up recruiting classes for the last 3 years. Yeah. And I looked at it, and it's all type of organizations.
Right.
Penn State was in the top 3. So that means you're getting the best players in high school, no matter what division they're in, but you're getting the best players in America on your football team. And you're losing games all the time in big moments. Yeah. What is the common denominator of that? Great recruiter, James Franklin, he's bringing them in. He's bringing them. They keep losing. And that's why I said last week that my biggest thing, they're not a terrible football team. I just don't think they're coached well. And I think he should be. And I don't like to do that because I'm not trying to say, oh, I could do it or somebody. But something is not right. And we done seen this trend with him, even at the other places he's been. So I'm thinking it's him. And I think he's going to get fired in the season? But you lose 3 straight, and then you're losing by teams like that you 20-something point favorites to beat them. You got to go. Something is wrong. You got all this talent, all this recruiting. You know they're putting money now with the NIL out. It's money coming out, and then you can't win. So yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, and this is a question for both you gentlemen. By 2:00 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, which is what Sunday, October 19th, will Luke Fickell still be employed by the University of Wisconsin?
No. No, I think he's the next guy to go
They
too.
play Ohio State at home up in Madison. They're going to get mauled. Ohio State's going to maul Wisconsin. Okay, it's going to be a mauling. And his last game as Wisconsin head coach will be against his alma mater, right?
Right. Unless they try to be nice.
Well,
and make sure they might try to be nice and only beat them 28-7 or something.
I know what the Chiefs going to do. He's going to read off the rest of their schedule after today.
No,
brutal.
I know.
The schedule's brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal.
The question you have is the buyout is $25 million, or they said it's over $25 million, as high as $27.5 million. So the buyout is, let's just say it's roughly $25 million, and that's what he's owed. So do they buy him out and write it off, or is he? This is college football. Next coach to hire. Evidently, here's one. They pretty much think he's the next guy to go. The only other guy, though, Napier in Florida, could beat him. You see, those two guys are probably 1 and 2 interchangeably. They could both be fired by tomorrow.
Yeah, it could be.
Billy Napier
Monday.
and Luke Fickell could be gone.
we always like to wait for those Mondays. Remember?
We used to call it, and the NFL. Well, college, they don't wait till the end of the year anymore. They're firing these guys like what's his name? Trent Dilfer was head coach for UAB. He got fired.
Yeah.
Last week, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, Trent Dilford lost his job midseason.
Yep.
Now, Franklin lost his midseason, and I believe Deshaun Foster from UCLA,
even before.
He lost it way before, but he lost it midseason. But, you see, maybe that was a good firing because you've got, Billy,
Skipper.
His Skipper.
Yeah.
And
doing a good job.
He's doing a good
and
job.
Now he came in and he brought in the kid coordinator,
Rick Neuheisel.
Neuheisel's
kid's going to make a lot of money off this, Dave Clark.
Hey,
right?
yeah, looking just like his dad when he was back at UCLA.
Exactly like him.
Back in the day.
Yeah, he looked just like him, man.
But here's this guy that was, this guy was kind of a journeyman coach that nobody really, I shouldn't say nobody wanted him, but as far as Tim Skipper is Tim Skipper, not all right. Tim Skipper's now the interim coach, but if you look at him, he was, I think, the interim coach last year for Fresno State. But he's kind of been like, who is this guy? Mm-hmm. Now all of a sudden, he steps in.
Yeah, playing great. He's done a great job coaching. The quarterback has stepped his game back up. Like you think he's back at Tennessee.
Yeah, Neuheisel got as much as but he got he loves the quarterback. He's hugging him when they beat Penn State, and then they go on and they beat Michigan State after that.
Yeah,
and now I don't think UCLA has lost a Big Ten game.
No, I don't think so.
They beat Michigan State up in East Lansing.
Yeah, they went up.
And that's
when I texted you. Remember that? I said,
yeah.
You mean to tell me they flew across the country and won a game?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
they did
they
did the impossible.
That tells a lot right there, though.
Yeah, this
interim coach come in and have your team ready going across. 3 hour difference.
You're an underdog. They were like an 8 9-point underdog to Michigan State.
Yeah. Tim Skipper is 47 years old. This guy's been all around coaching. I'm looking up this guy's resume. He's like Western New Mexico, Sacramento State, Fresno State, Colorado State, Florida, then Central Michigan. This guy's been everywhere. And he's been his overall head coaching record is 9-8. And now UCLA might have found the guy to coach the team. I don't want to get too carried away. But he might be their future. He might be the guy. He might be, hey, we just found our head coach for the future.
Yep.
If he keeps winning.
Yeah, you have to. These guys playing like that, you got to just hire him as the regular coach.
You got to make him the guy.
You got to.
You have to.
And don't you gentlemen think, you're giving James Franklin, $56 million to walk away short of his contract, okay?
Yeah.
And if you're going to do that, Pat Lucci and Dave Clark, and then you're going to turn around and hire Matt Rule, then what are we doing here? Seriously. then you get what you deserve, okay? Because you're going to go down this road again 3 or 4 years down the road. I know Matt Rule's a Penn State guy. He's from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I know.
He went to PSU. He's alumnus. And I know there's a lot of boosters that want Matt Rule as head coach, okay?
Right.
Because he's a Penn State guy. But I think that's a huge mistake. I mean, I think, and I know she is going to disagree, you have to put all your chips in the middle of the table and find out if Nick Saban and or Urban Meyer are interested.
Well, and I think you do.
And I don't think nothing wrong with that. You go out and get
try.
some fillers.
You might as well try.
Yeah, get some fillers.
Well, go after Tomlin from the Steelers. There's talk about that. There's a couple people saying they may go, not that they're going to get anywhere because Tomlin's not going it, but to try and go after the Sabans and try Urban Meyer. And I don't think Urban's a good hire. Saban, I think, doesn't want to deal with NIL and all this crap, and I don't think Urban really does either.
He went off about that, so I don't know if he'll want to get back.
And Saban's old. Unless you try to take, he's old.
And I understand what you're saying, Mike. I mean, you throw some fillers out there and see, but
realistically,
Matt Rule's probably going to be the guy.
But Matt Rule did say on Pat McAfee's show he's not interested in the job. But somebody said, "Yeah, well, what's he going to tell you? He's not going to tell you on Pat Mac. Yeah, I want the Penn State job. Why he's in the middle of coaching Nebraska?
Yeah,
someone said,
Matt Rule scored 3 points last night at Minnesota. They get beat 24-3 or something.
Yeah, that's the other thing. A caller, right?
Is that a sign?
Not any good. I watched Minnesota play. They're not any good.
No, Minnesota's not good.
What does that tell you? What? See, that's when we don't know. We on the outside. I wonder what's going on there, because are they even the players feeling it? Oh, Matt Rule's going to leave.
He's leaving.
We already see he's going to go.
Yeah.
And then they don't play up to. I mean, they got enough talent to not be getting beat
by 24-3.
Not by Minnesota.
No.
I done watched both teams this year.
Right.
There's no comparison between those two teams. And Minnesota dominated.
But the problem is with Matt Rule and a Penn Stater called in, and he said, I don't want Matt Rule because he's just another version of James Franklin. He can't beat the big teams. He can't beat the Ohio States. He can't beat the Michigans. I don't want Matt Rule. I'm a Penn State alum. Person called in, yada, yada, and he goes, I don't want Matt Rule because all I'm getting is another version of James Franklin, and I don't want that. I want a guy that can come in.
Recruit at James Franklin level. He's not as good as recruit.
No, he's not.
That's when I looked at that. I could not believe the Penn State recruiting class was that great.
Good. They kept saying, yeah.
But I just went off the cuff of reading things before. That's why I said I think they're not a bad football team. I just think they're not being coached well because they got too many players. But I didn't know it was that high in their recruiting. You can't, man. Come on.
There's got to be. Games. You have to figure there's a mammoth disconnect if you're getting that recruiting class coming in and that team performing like that.
Right.
I mean, how does a team with that recruiting class and talent, you're either recruiting class isn't as good as you think it is, or you're a crappy coach, or you're just not. There are big issues either with your assistant coaches and implementing your program and your scheme, and you have the wrong players for your scheme. I don't know. You could probably count many reasons, but the question's going to come down to, at the end of the day, like I hate to say it, it's the old thing. You are what your record is, and if you're James Franklin, you should not be losing to UCLA, and you shouldn't be losing to Northwestern. Now, granted, though,
especially back to back.
Here's the deal, though. This is the other problem you've got there, and this is where college football fans are a little. I think they're a little ignorant because they don't understand parity, and I think with NIL in now with college football. And with the portal, you have more parity in college football than you ever had. Yeah. And then you've got these UCLAs and Northwesterns and these teams that are like, well, they're not any good. No, they're surprisingly better than you think they are. And when you go to play these teams, you have to be careful. They're not that bad. And then UCLA, I think that's your classic case maybe of Deshaun Foster was not a good coach because here's this gentleman Skipper coming in and he's winning, and now he's got the kid coordinator, and now those guys are all playing like, there's no tomorrow. And now UCLA's not bad. And Northwestern, again, is people are saying they're better than you think they are. And if Ohio State, you got to be careful. You can't take anybody for granted. When you're playing like Illinois, they gave Ohio State a pretty good game. That quarterback moved the ball against Ohio State's vaunted defense. Now, Buckeyes won the game, but I watched it. And that quarterback's pretty good for Illinois, but this is what you have now. College football's got a lot of parity that it never had.
Yeah, in some areas.
And I'll say this to you, Pat, I want real quickly, Dave Clark. I'll say this to you because I heard this for years from my friends when Nick Saban was at Alabama. Okay, that and Lucia's gonna get mad here, Dave Clark, when I say this, but here we go. When all my friends, what I heard when Nick Saban was at Alabama, how the referees give Alabama and Saban the benefit of doubt on calls. Questionable calls. You mean like pass interference stuff? Well, that's no flag. Where's the flag? That's pass interference. Right. Well, in the Illinois game, there was more than one play where the Ohio State Buckeyes benefited from the referee keeping the flag in their pockets.
Right.
Yeah, well, they did. Yes.
Pass interference penalties.
Oh, they did.
That's correct. And the Illinois people let them know it, too.
Oh, they did. They had that one pass interference that they didn't.
It was terrible.
It was horrible. It was pass interference on Ohio State, and they didn't throw the flag. And I said, that's interference. And Bielema was going, and then after the play, a play later, he was still in the ref's face yakking about the interference. It was right at halftime, Bielema was walking off the field yelling at that referee, still complaining about the interference, and he was 100% right.
Yeah, and see that's what I'm saying. I mean, it is some parity to a certain extent because of the NIL, but most colleges don't have the same oomph, if they may say, to give them that type of money. So you got your Ohio States and you got Northwestern or Illinois. They can't get what Ohio State can.
I think they get portal kids that are better than you think they are.
Oh yeah, they
and
did
you may not be able, and they're not caring about NIL because they want to play.
Yeah,
and you see, you have a lot of, and then some of the NIL stuff, we don't really know the intricacies of those contracts, so you really don't know what that is. I mean, it sounds all great, but I think some of these kids don't care. They're going to play. See, the thing is, at the end of the day, if you're a college kid, sometimes college kids, there's not a big discrepancy between talent levels. And the point is, you can have these kids that aren't NIL, like these Northwestern kids, or some of these UCLA kids, but they like their coach and they're starting to play good, and they have, they get together and they don't care about NIL. They want to win.
Yeah, well, I don't think anybody really cares about it.
No,
who got that?
I mean,
if you're a competitor,
you're using it to get the talent. But at the end of the day, you still got to have the guys on the field that want to play hard and win. And something happened with Penn State because evidently they.
Well, I just think
you've got all the talent and all the great recruiting, and then they get on the field, and now you have UCLA and now Northwestern beating them.
Coaching, and that's what I said. That's why he's gone.
And then Lucia, and then at the end of the Northwestern game last week, you lose Drew Aller, your starting quarterback.
Yeah, he's gone. Year, right? Evidently, it was a broken ankle now, and he's out for the rest of the year.
Yeah,
correct.
You guys, you're here.
And who knows what? It's game 6, so he can't redshirt. So his career's over at Penn State.
Yeah, he's done.
His career's over.
He's done. He's got to go in NFL now. He's done. I believe the college.
My buddy's asking this question. Maybe I know Dave Falls is probably closer than both of us. He said, would Aller been better off coming out after last year than playing 6 games and not really adding to his resume whatsoever, and in many cases looking worse? And now he has a broken ankle. Did he? Where do you see him in April of 2026? Is he a 4th-round draft pick?
He still may get in there. He's a quarterback, so he might be a mid-round guy, 3rd, 4th round. Yeah.
Sadly, if he would have played, he could have been maybe higher. But someone may.
People roll dice on quarterbacks, right?
They're going to roll the dice.
They're going to roll them.
And then when guys see, the arm strength, that they can make all the throws, then
and mobility is good.
Yeah,
he can run.
The pros always think they can, even if a guy's broken a little, they feel they can fix it. So. That.
Yeah, I'm sure when the combine happens in mid to late February, he'll be back to healthy. I mean, that's probably a 12 to 14 week injury. Let's face probably by the middle of January, late January, he'll be ready to go.
Yeah, he'll be ready
from a health standpoint.
Right, and then they'll do the combines, and then someone will draft him.
We're gonna see what happened with Penn State. Whoever takes over, I forgot I heard the name, but whoever takes over,
Terry Smith. Terry Smith.
Yep.
Is the interim head coach.
So we'll see what they do. If he got some different philosophies, he's been around the team. Let's see if he does some things to stir some things up because you got too much talent for UCLA or Northwestern to even be close.
Here, since you've brought it up, let's go to our picks. And why not? Let's just start off. I added them as the 10th game, but we'll start with them. Penn State is at Iowa, Irish Mike.
Ooh.
And Iowa came off they shut out Wisconsin 37-0 last week. At Madison.
They stink.
Ohio,
the Boo Birds were out, Lucia. The Boo Birds were out.
Ohio State better be careful, though.
For what?
Oh, come on.
Hey,
I'm not even listening to that.
I got news.
Hey, Jim, edit this out.
I got news for you. I've seen it many times where everybody rolls in, and this team, I know they can't do anything. Just be careful. I watched this. If I didn't put them on because I don't know what the point spread is. It's something stupid.
They're not going to be in it.
But I'm not going to. The only question is it's competitive. But anyway, let's get to.
I think if they be nice, Ohio State, Luke Fickell and
because
our alumni, we're going to be nice to them.
Ryan Day won't run up the score.
We'll go 28-7. 35-7.
Yeah, maybe.
Instead of 70.
Yeah, it's a 70-0. Double it.
And he might, though. The rule might, Dave might just run it up.
From guys, when he got hired there 3 years ago, he brought a new offense coordinator. They're used to run the ball, playing the line of scrimmage, double tight, and he changed the entire offense. And they said what the offense he brought in does not fit the Wisconsin program whatsoever.
No, it doesn't.
Right.
And if I ask you this before you start on the script, if I have to ask this, if they fire Luke Fickell tomorrow, like we all think they will Barry Alvarez come back for the 14th time as interim head coach?
Might as well. Ain't nothing else to do. Just come on back, Barry. Put your sweater on like you always do on the sideline.
Well, if he does, Barry Alvarez is 78 years old.
Just roll him out there.
No, I don't know.
I don't care, man.
Roll
Just roll him out. Walker, I don't care what he's on. Just roll him out.
If Belichick can coach at 73, why not?
Yeah, just put him on out there, man.
Okay, the game, 3 and a hook. Penn State gets 3 and a hook at Iowa today. What do you guys say?
I'll take Iowa.
I don't even know what that. Who was their backup quarterback? I forgot. I seen him get in the game before, but I don't know who it is. Penn State. I forgot.
Well, their backup quarterback left that. Remember last December?
Oh yeah, he went to Missouri. Yeah, that's right.
Now.
That's right.
A friend of mine had sent me a text on that, and he said, I'll have to pull this.
He said
up.
Who it was?
He said the backup quarterback is a guy named Ethan Grunkenmeyer, and he's from Columbus, Ohio. And he was supposedly he was a backup. I got to look. I've never heard of this man.
He played one play last week when Aller got hurt, and he didn't look. He tried to run the ball, and he went nowhere fast.
Yeah.
He didn't look very athletic.
Well, that's your question going to be, though, if you're Penn State. He's I think he's from Olentangy. He played for Olentangy High School down in Columbus. That's where he went to high school, and he's 20 years old. And he's 6'2", 207. Yeah. He's down there in Yeah. So I believe he is the backup.
Well,
he's going to start. Yeah, he's going to be the starter it says here he will start against Iowa. So who do you want? You got Ethan Grunkenmeyer, the starter.
Let me take the Drunkenmeyer.
You want to go? You're going to go Penn State and take the points.
Yeah,
I like it.
They playing in Iowa, which is terribly hard to play in.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Iowa. I'm going with Iowa.
They started looking up at the hospital and all that.
I'll go Iowa, too.
It's not a good look.
He looks like he's a good-looking kid, this Ethan Grunkenmeyer. I wish him best of luck down there. Let's go with LSU at Vanderbilt. Today at noon, ABC. Actually, LSU comes into it as a 2.5-point underdog. So Vanderbilt is laying 2.5. They're home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're dangerous anyway.
But they're a dangerous team. They lost to Alabama last week, 30-14, and then LSU beat South Carolina 20-10. So did Kelly offend anybody after? He always says something offensive at the end of the game, but I don't think he did this time.
I'm gonna take LSU.
You like LSU?
Yeah.
Who do you say, Irish Mike?
I'm going to take LSU as well.
Yeah.
They're getting the points, right?
2.5. I'll take LSU. Next one is noon Fox today. Washington at Michigan, and Michigan's laying 4.5. So Washington has to travel all the way over to Michigan on the airplane. I'll have to say that now. Anytime, because everybody makes this big thing of this travel once a week. They're not like the soccer teams traveling 3 times a week, but neither here nor there. Washington gets 4 and a hook in Michigan. For Washington's 5-1 in Michigan, they lost to USC 31-13 last week, and Washington beat our favorite team, Rutgers Scarlet Knights, 38-19 last week. So the question comes down to, can Washington, that's like, if it's at noon, it's like 9 o'clock. Their body clock is 9 o'clock in the morning.
Oh man, I don't know.
I'm going to take Washington because I think it's going to come down to a field goal.
Yeah, I think it's going to be close.
So if they're getting 4.5 points, now they can get blown out, but I think Washington can keep this within 3 points.
Yeah, I'm going with Washington. So you said 4.5?
4.5. They get 4.5. How about you, Irish Mike?
I'm going to go with Michigan home to bounce back.
Okay. Yeah. Could be. Let's go to Oklahoma at South Carolina. And South Carolina's getting 4.5 points. And they're home dog. And Gessler didn't bring in his wild dogs today for us.
They both trying to bounce back.
I'm going to go with South Carolina at home and take the point.
Yeah, me too. I am too.
That quarterback for Oklahoma last week, I think Dave Clark came back too early. He
did not
look effective at all.
No, he looked bad.
It looked like to me as a fan, he should not have been playing physically.
Right.
No, he looked bad, and they got hammered last week by Texas.
Yes, they did.
23-6. It wasn't even competitive.
No.
And
what was our records last week, by the way, Pat? Do you have our records from last week for college?
What's that?
For our college, do you have our records from last week? How did we do?
Oh, yeah. Last week, Irish Mike, last week that was week 6.
Yeah.
You were, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I kind of screwed up. Here it is, 6-4. You were 6-4. Dave was 7-3. Good for Dave. I was 5-5, and for the year, you're 21-15. Dave's 22-23, and I'm 27-18. Wait a minute. Yeah, I think that's it. I was trying to figure this out this morning, and yet no. That was wrong. You're 27-19. Dave is 29-26, and I'm 32-23 for this so far this year.
Okay.
So you're doing good. I'm doing good, and Dave was a little underwater, but he had that great week, and now he's over 500. But Dave and I continue to be underwater for the NFL.
Well, I got South Carolina at home, and I'll take the point.
So, okay, so you want South Carolina, Dave. I think we all went South Carolina and took the points. Okay.
Yeah.
The next one is Texas A&M at Arkansas. And Arkansas is getting 7 and a hook. A&M.
Where's this game at?
At Arkansas. Now, Texas A&M blew out Florida last week, 34-17, and Arkansas lost a tough game to Tennessee, 34-31.
Yeah, no, they played
Bobby
well.
Petrino's their head coach now. Bobby Petrino.
Yeah, Petrino's back.
If it's not, if he don't know anything, he definitely know how to.
He knows how to coach.
Score.
He knows
how to get a team to score. He can coach.
Yep, he can coach.
I'm taking Arkansas at home. 7.5.
7 and a hook at home.
Yeah.
A&M is. Who do you want? Irish.
I'm going to go. Arkansas's defense is so bad, though, Dave.
I know.
I know. Oh, so bad.
And that quarterback has been playing great.
I'm going to go with A&M. I'm going to roll flyer and go with the A&M Aggies.
Me too. I'll take A&M. Next one is Texas Tech at Arizona, and Arizona's getting 6.5 points. I'm taking Texas Tech because I think they might be the best team in the country. Well, I think they're in the discussion. Texas Tech is just lights out.
Yeah, I'm taking them. Arizona, you got to watch them. They can do, especially at home.
They got hammered last week. Who do you want, Irish Mike?
Oh, boy.
Wait.
I'll go with Texas Tech.
Yep.
All right. Hold on. We got another hour coming up. Hold on for a minute. We'll be back after overtime coming up for Saturday Sports Page.
Someone's got to set the tone out there, boys. Someone's got to set it.
The station that sets the tone for Youngstown Phantoms hockey is Western Reserve Radio. WRDB, The Scourge.
If I could be you.
And you could be me for just 1 hour.
If you could find a way
to get inside each other's mind.
Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out. And for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Are you ready to hit the gridiron and make your mark? The Cleveland Cobras are recruiting players and coaches for the upcoming Premier Amateur Football League season. We're looking for passion, grit, and the relentless drive to win. Whether you're a seasoned vet or hungry rookie, your shot starts now. Join a brotherhood, build a legacy, strike with the Cobras. Follow us on Facebook at Cleveland Cobras Football, or for league information, visit TAFLfootball.com to get started today. Team Pride Cobras.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
Saturday morning sports page right back at you. Let's get back to our picks. Irish Mike, you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay,
yes,
good.
I'm here.
Let's go to the games. Old Miss at Georgia, and Old Miss is getting 7 and a hook. So Old Miss gets 7 and a hook. They're at Georgia. Georgia won last week, Auburn. I know there was a controversial play in the Auburn game, and people believe that they got lucky and they could have lost.
The SEC.
Yes.
They're about to go down 17-0 on the road, and they're in trouble.
And they're in trouble. Right. Right.
And all of a sudden, I do think that there's some let's face it, gentlemen, we've always watched a lot of the officiating this year in college football has been very, very, very poor. I think we all agree with that. Just, come on, guys. Sometimes I think I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but some people say, well, some of these conferences want 2, 3, 4 teams in the final 12. And sometimes I think some of their arguments have merit.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Sometimes you have to wonder.
From a league standpoint, you need Georgia to win that game. From a SEC standpoint, you need Georgia to win that game. Let's be honest.
They
Georgia won.
Right. And they did, and they can't because you
and
can't.
They benefited from several poor calls, very, very poor calls.
Yeah. I know.
So I'm going to go there between the hedges. I'm going to go with Georgia at home.
Yeah, and lay the points, 7 and a hook.
Yeah, at home.
I'll lay the points, and I'll take Georgia.
Who did Ole Miss get? Didn't they get blown out by
No, they're 6-0.
Are they?
Yeah, they haven't lost a game. They beat Washington State last week 24-21.
Oh man,
I can look at. No, I think they're.
Yeah, I don't think they probably.
Yeah, you're
have
right. You're right, Pat. You're right.
Yeah, they have not. Michigan's Mississippi State, Mississippi, Old Miss has not lost a game this year. They are basically 6-0, and that game is today at 3:30 on ABC. So that's going to be.
They got all SEC games on today.
Old Miss is 6-0. They're 3-0 in the conference. Let's see. They blew out Georgia State. They beat UK 30-23. They beat Arkansas 41-35. They blew out as a Tulane 45-10. They beat our buddy Brian Kelly 24-19. And then they beat Washington State. Their games have take out the couple blowout games, but their games all in the SEC have been very competitive within a score. Yeah. Like they only beat Kentucky by a touchdown. They only beat Arkansas by 6 points. They beat LSU by 5 points. They beat Washington State by 3 points. So they play everybody close to the tie, but they win, and they are 6-0. So the question is going to be, you got Georgia at home, but we watched Georgia should have lost last week. You saw
Kirby Smart.
Yeah. And again, you bring up the SEC thing, which you might be right. I mean, it won't be the first time that's ever happened. But again, the whole bottom line is it was a very questionable. They should have been down 17-0. I did not watch the game, but I'm just taking what people said on radio, and they said it was really questionable. The one touchdown they called back last week against Auburn would have won. Auburn would have won the game pretty much if they've not called back the touchdown.
This is a hard one, boy.
So that's tough. I don't know. I'll tell you what. Old Miss plays everybody closer to the vest. Yeah. I'm going to go on a limb. I like the points.
I know.
And I'll take the 7 and the hook and say Old Miss may lose, but I think they're going to keep it close and keep it within the 7 and a hook.
It is so hard.
Because that's right. We go through this with the NFL every damn game with the NFL is this way.
I'm going to go Georgia's at home, though.
Georgia's at home, though, and they're playing, like you said, between the hedges. But
I'm going to take them.
You're going to take Georgia. I'm going to say Georgia wins it, but they don't cover it.
Right, yeah.
Because I don't like that hook. Let's go to your favorite school, Irish Mike. The big game, USC at Notre Dame. This is Notre Dame's game. They probably need to win to get into the Final 12 playoff. It's 9
and a couple weeks. I think Pat, in 3 weeks, USC plays Oregon up in Eugene. So, and people almost think this is a must-win for them based upon the circumstances.
It could be.
I was going to say this is like a play.
Yeah, this is actually like a yes. This is like a quasi-playoff elimination because the loser will probably be out of the playoff picture, potentially, but you never know because the way these teams are playing against one another. But Notre Dame really can't. I don't think they can really lose any more games.
No, they can't.
And weather's, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but weather can be a major factor in this game.
So what, are they getting...
rain throughout the game. It's supposed to... It's not raining there now, but allegedly it's 90% chance of rain at about 8 o'clock, and the game is going to kick off at 7:45. So,
is it going to have severe wind? Because that's what's next. No, tomorrow, supposedly in Cleveland, you're going to have like 50-mile-an-hour winds in Cleveland.
It was supposed to be thunderstorm in the early afternoon and heavy rain during the game at kickoff. But I have friends there right now and said it is not raining. It's rain. They said it rained a very little bit about a half hour ago, but it stopped. So. Not that it won't really, and obviously kick off 8 hours from now, but that's what they've been saying Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So the weather could be a major factor.
What's the
line's
point,
9.5. Whether rain or no rain, I would take USC 9.5. I think
9.5. 9, and the number is 9.
I could see Notre Dame definitely winning the game, but I think USC covers the 9.5.
Yeah, it's 9.5.
What I'm running about
the number's 9.5.
The only thing I hate that it might eliminate. I can't say it will, but the passing game. And that's something
that's what USC
is a good passing game.
And actually Notre Dame passes the ball well this year too.
Yeah, but they got the dual running backs, and I think they can run the ball
heavy
against
bang that line with the big.
This is
and
a hard
USC's not a physical team.
I know USC's top 2 running backs are out of the game. Their top 2 running backs are out for the next 2 months. They got hurt
not good.
Like in the last couple of weeks.
Oh, that's not good.
But their third-string running back ran for 154 yards and 2 touchdowns against Michigan last week. So
that's right.
And Dave Clark, he looked pretty good.
Yeah, I watched that
crazy.
guy. That's the game we watched. Was the USC Michigan
third
USC,
string.
Yeah, that third string guy.
String
Hey,
walk-on
he
running
played
back, ran
good.
154 yards and
Yeah,
two touchdowns
he
against
really
Michigan.
played good. I mean, I
played
thought
well,
he's a walk on. I said, this guy's really
Oh,
good.
they're doing an excellent job bringing guys.
He
in
may
like
end
that.
up being the NFL. He might be a pick later round pick in the NFL. That guy, he played great.
Oh,
He played
man.
really good.
Man, this is hard though.
I'll take SC.
You want SC in the points?
I still consider Notre Dame definitely winning the game.
Yeah, I guess the question is how much does the rain impact USC's offense? And they're not a physical team per se. And does the physicality of ND just get the better of them? Or can USC at least move the ball enough and keep it close? And 9.5's a lot.
USC got ahead so far into Michigan, they took Michigan completely out of their game plan.
Yeah, they did.
Throwing the ball every down. And
They-
Michigan doesn't want to throw the ball every down. They got taken out of their game plan.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm gonna take ND.
ND and lay the points.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I'm debating on too. I don't know. I'm gonna go with. I'll take the USC and I like the points. I don't know. I think
In fact,
USC.
that line started at 7.5. Now it's up to 9.5. They move up. But in the last 5 days, it went up 2 points in 5 days.
Wow.
Yes. So started off last Sunday when it came out at 7.5.
Next game on the docket. I threw this one in. I wasn't going to, but I did because I was going to I didn't put Tennessee and Alabama in. I don't know. It's just so many games. I put this.
Put them all in, man.
We could be here all day. We are already. Maryland.
We get a lot wrong, Dave Clark. We get a lot wrong.
I get them all. Maryland at UCLA. Maryland lost last week to Nebraska 34-31. And then obviously UCLA beat Michigan State 38-13. Maryland's getting 3 and a hook at UCLA. So UCLA is actually the favorite. I like UCLA. I'm taking them.
I'll take UCLA as well.
I think this is what I think. I think that goes back to Deshaun Foster just didn't want to coach. He wasn't into it. I don't know what the issue was. I think they're a good team. I just think the coaching was bad. And this Tim Skipper guy, who no one ever heard of before, is actually a pretty good coach. He's just been around, like I said. Yeah. And I think these kids like playing for him. They bring in the young coordinator, Neuheisel's son, and evidently the quarterback loves him, and he's playing like he did at Tennessee. And I think that UCLA's got a little bit more mojo, and Maryland's got to go across the country.
Yeah. And they got the young quarterback,
but they got the young quarterback there too, and he's really good too.
But man, what's the point, though? You didn't say
3 and a hook.
Oh, you did say it. You did.
That's all right.
Oh,
who's the name of the Maryland quarterback?
I can't think of his name. That guy's. I've seen him play. He's pretty good.
Malik Washington.
His younger brother's not there. The Dolphins' younger brother quarterback's not there. He was there for 12 years.
Yeah,
remember?
yeah. He was there forever. Yeah, he's Malik Washington is 6'4". I think he's a freshman.
Yeah, he's a freshman. He is a freshman.
So he's not. He can't come out to the NFL yet.
No,
but
he's got a few
everybody,
years to play.
Everybody's high on him. He's playing really good. I just think the problem you've got going on is I think that UCLA is one of these teams that they got rid of the coach, and all of a sudden.
What's Maryland's record, though?
Maryland's got a record. There's 4-2. They lost 2 games. They lost to Washington, and then they got beat last week by Nebraska.
Okay, when they lost to Washington, was it a big number?
No, it was close. They were actually winning the game, and Washington came back and beat them. They were leading that game. I think it was 20-0.
Big. Yeah, it was big. They were winning big.
Right, they were winning big against Washington.
And then just faltered.
And then they kind of fell apart, and then Washington
scored 3 touchdowns in the last 10 minutes of the game, 21 points in the last 10 minutes of the game, Dave Clark, to win the game.
And won 21-20? Or something?
24. Yeah, I'll look it up.
Something like that. That is... Wow, that's
yeah.
That was 21 points in the last 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah, right. that's a heartbreaker. Right
they
there.
lost. They had that game won. I thought they won the game, and then because I just saw the score and I thought it was a final, and then I found out later that Washington came back, and you said it, Irish Mike. They came back and pulled the game out of the proverbial hat.
Dave, you're a pretty observant guy. Have you noticed, 2 years ago, Lucia latched on the Rutgers Scarlet Knights as his East Coast team. And it sounds like to me he's latched on the UCLA Golden Bruins on his team down the West Coast. Am I wrong?
I think you're right.
You notice that?
Yeah.
He's all about UCLA football now.
I like.
He loves the story.
I love the uniforms, though.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, they lost to Washington for the record 24-20. What I like about UCLA, really, about their football, I love the coach. I looked at this guy's resume. He's just been pushed around. He was in Fresno State. He's been all these teams, and then the team is you figure the team is in the proverbial toilet. Now let's give this guy the head. The season's over. Let's give this guy the assistant head coaching job because you know he's going to fail, right? And now all of a sudden the team has turned it all around.
Yeah.
And this guy's and he's like a low key guy and that's the best part of it. It's like I love guys that just come out of the woodwork and start playing. I go, here's a guy that coached all his life in all these different schools, and he played for Fresno State. I didn't know any of this. I looked it up, but I'm thinking, here's a guy that comes out of the woodwork, and then you bring in the kid coordinator who looks like Neuheisel. His son looks just like the dad, and now he's hugging the guys, and everybody's winning. He beats Penn State. He beats Michigan State. I'm like, hey.
Yeah, I mean, he beat some big programs.
Yeah. So. For just taking over.
I know.
It's like
I think they still may win, but that hook has got me.
Yeah, the hook.
Because Maryland seemed to be able to score. They can score.
Right, they can score. So this will be a great game. It's on 7 o'clock FS1.
I think I'm watching it.
I might watch this on my tablet and watch USC. And we're going to watch Notre Dame USC.
Yeah.
But I'm going to put this game on my tablet and watch it on my tablet. I'm going to have them both going because I want to see Maryland. I want to see the quarterback.
Yeah, see, I'm like that with Texas Tech. I always want to watch them. I've been watching them all season long. I just love.
They may be the second best team. They might be the best team in the country.
They have no idea how good they are. They don't even pay any attention to what's in the writings, the media, nothing. They just play. And man, I'm taking Maryland.
You're going to take Maryland? Okay.
Yeah, I'm taking Maryland.
Okay, the last game I have, I guess we could pick Tennessee, Bama, and just throw it at the bottom. We'll do it. Why not?
That's a big game.
All right, that is a big. It is a big game. All right, Utah at BYU.
Oh, that's a big game. I forgot about them.
This is the problem you
have.
I got all these big games,
rivalry
and I know Maryland and UCLA is not a big, but I like it because of just the story.
Well, like you said, hey, Irish might just put it out. Is exactly right. The reason they're on there is you got your West Coast team.
And now I got my bias. That's it. I got a West Coast bias because I like UCLA now.
Right, that's all.
I like the uniforms. The powder blue.
I
love those gold helmets.
I've been liking them for way back. I just like them uniforms.
USC and UCLA is still one of the greatest games. As a kid, as a kid. Let's go to Utah at BYU. BYU's actually.
He loves when USC plays UCLA, Dave, because USC wears their red Cardinal jerseys and UCLA wears their powder blue.
Yes.
He loves that.
Yep. Yes, I love it. And the red helmets and the gold helmets.
They look great.
They look great. I remember as a kid. I'm old, but I remember as I was like 11 years old. I was 12. I was watching O.J. Simpson play for USC. He was a junior. He lost the Heisman Trophy to Gary Beeman, who was
rip-off
because they wouldn't give it to O.J. They didn't give it to juniors back then,
right?
And that's why O.J. didn't. But O.J. was the better player. But they gave it to Gary Beeman for UCLA, and O.J. was second, and they gave it to Beeman, but I remember O.J. making the run against UCLA, and I remember as a kid watching O.J., he was like my favorite college player, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that used to be great games.
They were great games. They were fantastic games. But the game, bringing it back to this today, not 55, 60 years ago, I apologize. Utah is at BYU, and BYU is getting 3 and a hook. I had to look at this twice.
BYU's getting 3 and a hook.
BYU is getting the points.
Yeah, but they're undefeated, right? What do you mean they got one loss?
They are BYU's 6-0, and Utah's got the loss. They're 5-1. Yeah,
they lost this to Texas
Tech. But who's beating everybody?
Yeah, I just don't. BYU's getting how much?
3 and a hook. The hook's going to get you every time.
That game is going. I think that's going to be a great game. I hope that's a 10:30 game.
8 o'clock on Fox. See, the problem you have with college football, like tonight, you got USC at Notre Dame, great game. Then you got the Maryland at UCL game. That's on FS1.
It's intriguing.
That's the intriguing game because you got people like me that get a little carried away, and I'm getting like, okay, I'm now all become a UCLA fan because, again, the coach and the quarterback, but I like that, the story behind UCLA. I like them. Now I want to see them Duke. But now Maryland, I want to see the quarterback play.
Yeah.
Because I want to see that Malik Washington play. So I'm like, I want to watch that game. But then you got Notre Dame, and now you got this game on Fox at 8 o'clock. And I don't know who to pick out of this group.
Because Utah is usually tough at home, but Texas Tech took them to the woodshed at home. They didn't care if they was at home or not. But this is BYU. But they've been playing well. This is a rough one here.
This is really hard. I don't know what to tell you guys because
I'm gonna go with Utah.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing it to the home team. I'm thinking about taking that home team, but it's
3 and a hook. See, the problem they have is they throw that hook at you, and that's what screws you up because you're thinking, Utah minus 3 and a hook.
Yeah,
you got to give 3 and a hook.
I'm gonna take Utah just because they're at home, but BYU has been playing some good ball.
How about you, Irish Mike?
I'm going to take Utah.
Man, I don't know. Let's see. BYU played. They beat nobody. Somebody state, PR state. I don't know who it is. I'm not looking it up. They played 69-0, doesn't count. They beat Stanford 27-3. ECU, they beat 24. Eastern Carolina 34-13. That's nobody. They barely beat Colorado 24-21. They beat West Virginia with Rich Rod 38-24, and they beat Arizona last week 33-27.
Arizona. Right?
Arizona.
Yeah, they pretty decent.
And they're good.
I'm gonna stay with Utah. I'm gonna stay with that. I'm good with that.
Yeah, I guess. Who did Utah lose? Oh, that's right. Texas Tech.
Yeah, that's the only team they lost. So.
Yeah, I'll take Utah too. All right, let's do at the bottom. I'll scribble it in here. Boy,
11th rank and 6th rank.
Tennessee versus Alabama.
Yeah, that's on 7:30 tonight as well.
Yeah, that's the other problem you have.
That's at 8 o'clock too.
Yeah, that's 7:30.
Yeah, 7:30 on ABC.
Oh boy,
there's a lot of good night games.
That's why I clicked that button on my YouTube.
Well,
TV.
We get the you get.
But you can tape them all.
Yeah.
You hit the button and it just record every NCAA game.
I like the multi-view, which is totally annoying, but I love it.
Yeah, because you can see all of them.
You can watch them all, and then you're just. And tonight would be like the classic. If you could get these games, if you could get BYU, Maryland, and UC and USC and that's. If you can get these 3 late games, and then Tennessee and Alabama 4-view. There's your 4-view: Alabama and Tennessee. If you could get that on, you could get these 4 games tonight on that multi-view. USC, Maryland, Utah, and then you get Tennessee and Alabama. All on the multi-view. Total insanity.
Yeah. What's the line on the Alabama game, Pat?
I believe the line on this game, this is on 7:30 tonight at ABC, and I believe it was now it's 8.5. It was 7. It's 8. Alabama's laying 8.5. Tennessee is at Alabama, and they get 8.5 points.
I'll take Alabama.
Who do you want?
Oh, I don't know that on that one.
Lay the points or like 8.5 points. Alabama's getting 8.5. Both these teams come in 5-1. Tennessee got beat. In the they're 2-1. Oh, they got beat by Georgia 44-41. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That was that was if the kid kicks the field goal, they win it. Yeah, that's right. That was that overtime game. That was insanity too. But they lost to Georgia. That's their only loss. Now they've had all close wins though. I don't count UAB and Eastern Tennessee. They beat no. But in the SEC, they've all been real close. We know what Bama's been doing. So.
Their last game, they beat who? Missouri, right?
Bama beat, I think their last game, was it Missouri?
Yeah, they beat Missouri last week up in Columbia. That's correct.
Yeah, and the week before, they beat Vanderbilt.
Yep, at home.
Yeah, they beat Missouri 27-24 last week at Missouri, and then they beat 30-14. They beat Vandy pretty handily at home.
Wow. Okay.
So they have Tennessee at home. What do you think?
I'm
8.5.
I'll put down Tennessee for right now. That's at 8:00. I may
8
change
o'clock.
before then. 8.5.
Yeah. I'll take Bama.
Yeah. Because I'm not sure about Tennessee's defense.
No, and that quarterback from Bama, that Simpson.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, I like him. He's good.
He's probably the Heisman Trophy leader right now.
Yeah,
he's tough.
I like him. And you wanted Bama, Irish Mike?
Now, call got knocked out the game. Their running back, Bam. He took a shot, boy.
Right.
Got knocked cold. So I don't think he's playing this week. I don't think. Oh man, I just leave it like it is. Tennessee. If I think of changing, I will. If I don't, that's okay. Just go with what I got.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to go Bama. I think Bama's. Like I said, who did we talk about the Bama lost to Florida State first game of the year.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Who's lost 3 in a row now?
Yeah,
They
who's
lost to Pitt last
basically
week at home.
Pitt beat them at home.
Yeah.
Well,
and down in Tallahassee last week.
big upset.
They lost at home.
The big upset last night. I started the show was Miami, Florida, getting beat by Louisville 24-21, and the quarterback threw the interception, driving down.
He
had 4 of them.
Yeah,
and that last one was the game because
they were lucky to not be beaten more than that.
Right. But they had the game where they could have tied it, right? And they were in field goal range when he threw the interception.
It was like the 30-something yard line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a deflected ball, and they picked it off. I didn't know if the guy actually caught it from Louisville, but it looked like he did. They kind of reviewed it a little bit and said, no, game over.
Yeah, probably you couldn't
tell.
Sure.
It was so close.
But you know what? They have always had problems with Louisville.
Yeah.
That's not even a trap game. They just have problems with them.
Right.
They always play but their team is built up of mostly Florida players too.
Yeah, it is.
And
always have been.
Pitt had a 2-touchdown lead on Louisville a couple weeks ago in Pitt, and they blew it, and Louisville won by touchdowns.
Yeah.
Pitt was on top of them pretty good.
Yeah, Louisville was pretty good. They only got one loss.
They only have one loss.
Yeah.
You know.
Hey, I want to leave you guys. I know you're going to do your pro picks after the bottom of the hour, but I want to leave you guys on this little tidbit. I get some information. I'm going to share it with you, gentlemen.
Yeah.
You know, it's been a while discussed that this is the last year of the USC Notre Dame contract.
Yeah, I know.
Are they going to continue to play? I know, yeah, in the future. And obviously, Lincoln Riley's made many comments over the last 6 months about the fact they're in the Big Ten now. They're not in the Pac-12, and they got to fly cross country multiple times and maybe play Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan. And basically, he's been saying, do we need to take on another very tough non-conference opponent? You know, our goal is to make the playoffs every year, and when you take on these teams, you could potentially lose, and that gives you another L potentially on your schedule.
Right.
You know? And I know earlier this week, Colin Cowherd did his best to help, and on a show Tuesday, he made Marcus Freeman his number one choice to go to Penn State, and that Penn State should throw the basket at Marcus Freeman to get lead South Bend and come to Happy Valley. So, Colin Cowherd's a big USC fan. And then Wednesday, he did a big monologue that Notre Dame needs USC more than USC needs Notre Dame, okay? So the crux of the story, gentlemen, I've been told by multiple sources that this is going to get done probably in the next several weeks, maybe the next month or so, and they are going to get an extension for the USC Notre Dame series. And big difference is going to be, gentlemen, now is the game's going to be played in September, whether it be in L.A. or in South Bend.
So they're just going to play it every September. Okay.
Because normally they play in the middle of October.
Yeah, they rotate it. Yeah,
they play the Thanksgiving weekend in L.A. For the last. Since you've been a little kid, right? Pat, I mean, let's be honest.
Yep. No, they should.
Yeah.
They need to keep it.
Keep it and do it early.
Just do it. Fine. Do it early, but play it. Make sure you play that game every year.
USC thing. We want to play in September. We do not want to play Notre Dame in the middle of October, and we don't want you to come out here in November.
All right, fine.
Everything was about September. One of the first 3 games. So I know Notre Dame's got to move a lot of games around because they got home and home coming up with Tennessee and Alabama, and that's the big bugaboo about playing in September. You might play Alabama week 2 and then turn around and play USC in week 4. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that I know they have to do some shuffling with their schedule. That's why it won't get announced for another couple weeks, probably 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks down the road. But my understanding is it's going to get done.
Okay, good. They need to keep it.
the powers that be above Lincoln Riley want to keep the series going. So Lincoln made those comments, but I was told by a guy that follows USC pretty good that he's not calling the shot on this. So that they want to keep the series alive.
No, they have to. If they have to move it to do it, fine, but they have to keep it.
So
no matter what.
Okay, gentlemen, you guys have a great weekend. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you, Irish Mike.
Take care, guys. Thank
All
you.
right,
Bye-bye.
man.
Take care.
Irish Mike, we're coming up on our second overtime, Dave Clark, and we're going to do the pro picks.
Yep.
Do you want to know? Do you want to know what we did last week?
Yeah.
You were 5-10. I was 6-9.
Yeah.
We're still underwater.
Well, it just shows that this is an unpredictable season because it's never been this bad.
We need Gessler's Wild Dogs in here to help us out. Back after a quick timeout. Wrap up the show with our pro picks on the Saturday Morning Sports page, Western Reserve Radio.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Here's a fun fact for you. The average chameleon can point their eyes in 2 different directions. On the other hand, the average human can't. So unless you're a chameleon, there's absolutely no way you can focus on texting and driving at the same time. So don't do it, unless you're a chameleon.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
The year was 1907. The Cubs won the World Series and the Ford Model R hit the assembly line. While here in Ohio, school administrators came together to form the Ohio High School Athletic Association. One thing that hasn't changed since 1907 is the dedication of the OHSAA to education-based athletics in Ohio. School sports teach responsibility, sportsmanship, and life lessons that stay with students long after their playing days are over. The OHSAA seeks to prepare students not for the next level of sport, but for the next level of life.
Saturday Morning Sports page, yeah. Technical difficulty. Couldn't find the headset. And I got Gessler in here. We're going over what we did wrong in our picks. For the record, Bob, you were 3-10. That was the week, though. Dave was 5-9, and I was 4-10. Not like, oh, yeah, gee whiz, anybody was any better. I mean, I'm not saying, oh, yeah, Dave Clark was 5-10. I was 6-9 last week. So what? It's like one game. And it's like, oh, yeah, I was better than Dave, yeah. I was still 6-9. I still stink. And these games these NFL games are driving us nuts because I go through every game, and it's just like, every game, it's like, no, what? And then last year and all the other years, we were always over 500.
Right.
This year, we're not even near it.
Where'd you pick it?
Unbelievable. This is like the worst year we've ever had. Totally. Dave Clark, you're back on, Dave Clark. Yeah, he's got Gessler in here, and we're all like trying to figure out. And then he's got to bring his wild dogs in here to help us out because, boy, we need help. next week. Promising them. Promise those dogs, because we are dog. We're picking like dogs. The dogs could pick better than we can.
Well, I tell you what, if they come in next week
and we do good,
our percentages
they're here every week.
They take over.
They take over. Yeah,
they actually do the whole show.
They can do the show. The little dachshund, and what is Honey's a golden retriever?
No, yellow lab.
Yellow lab.
Yep.
We'll have the little dachshund that barks all the time, and the yellow lab that runs around and likes to just. We have to feed her for her affection, and that's what we do. Anyway, let's get. Speaking of the proverbial devil here. Let's go to our picks because, again,
this is bad.
Last week was not good. I mean, again,
you can look at any week.
No,
almost. We might have had one week.
I had 1 week myself. That the second week I did great. I was like 11-5. But I was 5-11, and then I was 11-5. And then after that, it's been just straightly downhill.
I don't know if I had one that was over 500.
You had the first week. Dave, you did pretty good. The first week you were 8-8. I was 5-11. Then the second week, you were 10-6. I was 11-5. That was our last good week. After that,
second week of the season.
Second week of the season, you were 10-6. I was 11-5. Going into week 3, I was 16-16, and you were 18-14. So. That's good.
18 wins.
Now, as of today, this is where it gets just down and out ugly. You are now 36-57, and I'm 35-58. You're one game better than me.
That's bad. Man.
That is bad. I mean, we're not even near, we are not even at 5. We're not even near 500.
What did you say? I'm 36 and what?
57. And I'm 35-58.
That is 23 games.
Yeah. You're basically 21 games below, and I'm 23 games below.
Well, we gotta go. We gotta go on a streak.
Yeah.
Of 3 or 4 weeks to get back to 500.
We do. I mean, we really have to go on a real big streak.
All right.
College is good. We're doing good on college.
We started off okay already. Now 1-0.
Yeah, we're 1-0. I changed my pick.
Yeah, because
I was going to go Steelers, but then when I saw Tomlin's record for Thursday night games against the division opponents of 0-6, I said I'm changing. I'm taking the Bengals because Bengals got 4 and a hook. I'm figured I'll take the 4 and a hook home dog. I figure the Bengals can at least, if they lose by 3. They'll keep it close.
Right, and I took
and you took the Bengals right up front because you were like going.
I took them the week before against the Packers because I thought
you did.
I just thought
you got it right.
Inject something. They
lost, but they didn't. But Packers didn't cover.
And I said, okay. Flacco got the offense going a little bit.
Yep.
He'd probably be better the second one.
And you got
way
that.
Better.
Way better.
So they could be dangerous.
Now all the Bengal fans are doing handstands thanking the Browns, and you got Tomlin complaining that he doesn't belong on the Bengals. Why did they trade him in the division? And then people going, why does Tomlin care? And then you got all that.
Because he's done played against.
He knows
what he can do. That's the thing. He's done played against.
He played against.
How long he's done played against Joe Flacco?
Yeah,
while he's at Baltimore.
All those years at Baltimore. He knows Flacco well. He knows what he can do.
That's right.
Let's go to the games. Oh my gosh, the Rams versus the Jags. This is the London the 9:30 game. Jags are getting 3 and a hook.
Okay.
So this is really neutral site.
But you know what? Oh, Puka, my guy is out.
Yeah, he's out.
I hate that. But, I mean, they can still throw the ball. But the darlings of London are the Jaguars. They really should be the London
They
Jaguars.
should be the London Jags because that owner.
They love them out there.
Yeah,
they've been there more than any other
what's his
team.
name? The owner of the Jags.
Omar Khan. Was that it?
No, Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan, yeah.
Yeah, well, we call him Shaka Khan. It's Shah Khan, but we call him Shaka Khan.
Yeah.
Because that's the singer, Shaka Khan. Shaka Khan.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to take Jacksonville. I really do. It's 3 and a hook.
Yeah. It's 3 and a hook. Jacksonville gets 3 and a hook. See, the question you have is, Could Jacksonville win or lose? But can they? Is it a 3? It's just stay 3 points. Then obviously you take the Jags because you got the 3 points. But can the Rams blow them out? Jacksonville lost last week 20-12 to the Seahawks. I got that wrong. And then we got the Rams right. They beat the Ravens 17-3. So the Rams coming off a win, the Jags coming off a loss, and they're both over in London now.
Yeah.
This
is a hard pick.
And they're both 4-2.
Yeah, it's a hard pick because, I mean, I think that takes something from the Rams' offense with the Nakua not being in there.
Right.
Wow. I'll take them. I'm gonna take the Jags. 3.5.
The Jags and the points.
Yeah. I'll take them.
Yeah, I do. I like the Jags because I like the points. I like the hook. I think they keep it within 3.
Yeah, and they may lose.
And they may lose, but maybe they lose. Okay. Next one is the Saints are at the Bears. The Bears lay 4.5 to the Saints. The Saints lost last week, but they were very competitive. But we got that right because we took the Pats and they covered. They lost to the Patriots 25-19, and then the Bears beat Washington on that great. They lost to Washington. Yeah, they beat Washington on Monday night, 25-24. So they had that big win on Monday night.
Yeah, that was big.
And now they're home. Yeah, they were at Washington and won that game. And Saints are on the road in Chicago, 1:00 start.
Oh man,
I'm going to go with the Bears. I just think they're the home team. They're the better team. Maybe New Orleans can go to Chicago and make it a game, and maybe they can.
How many points they getting? 3.5 or
4.5.
4.5. Wow. Oh my goodness.
And that's the toughest part. Is just
it is. I'm having reservation. I do want to take the Bears, but they're coming after a Monday night. But
that's the only drawback
traveling.
Is they're home, but they're coming off. Usually those Monday night winners struggle the following week.
Yeah. I don't know why.
I just don't. Here's the problem I kind of have. I just don't really have a lot of faith in the Saints, and they are getting better, and they are. They could. I just think I'm looking at this. Who's the better team? The Bears are, but can the Saints keep it close? And that's the kicker. They could.
Yeah, they could. You're right. You are exactly right. I'm gonna take the Bears.
Okay, let's go to now. This one, the next game is ugly.
Is it that bad?
It is. I don't know where to go with it. It's Miami at the Browns. It's going to be raining there, and I think they're supposed to have severe weather, like winds, like 45 mile an hour winds.
That could be.
So you're going to have rain and wind, and get this: the Dolphins get 2 and a hook, and this game could be 3-0.
I mean,
I could see this game with the severe weather up there. That's why Haslam's going to Brook Park and getting a dome.
So y'all have to deal with that in the future,
right?
Oh man.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I just go the home team and lay the points, or that. I mean is Miami's probably 2 and a hook.
2 and a hook.
Miami's getting 2 and a hook on the road.
I don't know about this one. I don't know about this one.
I don't either. I mean, I'm like,
bad, man.
Could be the ugliest. This is, I think, the ugliest game of the weekend by far. And I don't know. I think I'll just take. I'll take Miami on the road. I know that's ridiculous, but I have no faith in Cleveland at all. And I think that the young quarterback in the elements is not going to be good. And Miami will pull out an incredibly ugly win, and they're getting points. No, they're giving the points. That might be a mistake, but it's only 2.5. It was 3.5. I'd take the Browns and the hook.
You make me want to take the Browns. I'm thinking, wait, but it's 2 and a hook.
2 and a hook.
Man, this is tough. I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take them to the Browns.
All right, you take Browns
because Miami don't like that weather.
No, they don't.
They can't. They don't want all
I'm
that.
just basing it on the Browns. I think the Browns have mailed this in. And
you mean Miami?
Well, both of them have mailed it in. It's just the severity of who's mailed it in more, the Browns of Miami.
Yeah.
I think Miami's the better team offensively on the roster. So I
don't think they got enough offense to really.
Right.
If Cleveland playing their defense at the top level, they'll shut them down.
I could flip a coin and go the other way.
Yeah, easy.
Let's go to the Patriots or at the Titans. Titans are getting 6.5 at home versus the Patriots. I'm taking the Patriots. I'll lay the points and take my chances.
Titans getting 6.5.
Yeah, they're getting 6.5 at home. I just think they fired the coach.
No,
Maybe
I think he's gonna try to. He might try to run it up if he can.
And that's the other thing I'm doing. Rabel is going to. I think he's got I'm going to show them. You fired me. You're going to regret it.
The last coach or team that ever did something to him was the Jacksonville Jaguars and Urban Meyer, who actually disrespected him by saying, "Who?" And he says, Vrabel, he said he was on your coaching staff. I don't remember him on my coaching staff at Ohio State. And, man, if anybody ever seen that video of the handshake, do you remember that?
No, I didn't.
Pull it up.
I got to pull it up.
You'll see when after the game, he just runs right past Urban Meyer and just grabs his hand and throws it away and just kept on going. They blew out. The Titans blew out.
He's lucky that's all Vrabel did.
Instead of choking him and throwing him. He's throwing them somewhere. But that's what he did, and I think that team did something they should have never fired him. No. But you did it that kind of way, I think it's going to be big time revenge. I want them all the way.
Pates. You want the Pats and lay the points?
And they actually going to Tennessee, right?
Yep.
He wants to go.
And that's what I think he's going to do. And in Tennessee, he's going to run it up and the people will probably go ballistic.
Yeah,
because they liked him, and he'll run it up, and the people. I won't be surprised if the fans aren't rooting for Vrabel and the Patriots because the fans liked him, and they fired him, and the fans are upset that they ever fired him, and they got to change the coach. They fired their coach.
Yeah,
Callahan's gone, and the father's gone. He was the offensive line coach, and
you better get him back to Cleveland.
They better get him to Cleveland.
Get that line with him as the coach.
So I would say. They don't have the line, and they got the new guy. I don't know who I'll look it up. It's not. At the end of the day, I'll take the Patriots. Let's get to the Raiders or at the Chiefs. This is 11.5. The Raiders are getting 11.5 at Kansas City. Kansas City, a big win Sunday night over the Lions, 30-17. And then the Raiders lost. No, the Raiders beat the Titans 20-10, which obviously cost Callahan his job, among other things. But
I'm gonna take the Chiefs. I just think they needed Brock Bowers back,
and he won't be. He's out.
Part of their offense to make
I'm
some
taking
things.
The Chiefs because,
and I think they get Rashid Rice back for this game, and now they got big time.
And they're playing.
They got so many receivers.
They're clicking.
Now.
The team they're out of their funk. They got the players back, and I think they're starting to really heat up. They're getting it back. And I think that this is a 1:00 game, CBS, and I think that Mahomes. It's 59 degrees and sunny, so no weather out there.
No problem. Yeah.
No problem. And I think that's what's good. Let's go to the Eagles or at the Vikings, and the Eagles are giving the Vikings 2.5 points.
That's a hard one too because that offense.
Eagles. The last time the Eagles played, they got beat bad by the Giants Thursday night. That's the last time they played, 34-17. And then the Vikings are coming off a bye. Their last one was in London when they beat the Browns 21-17. So the Vikings coming off a bye. Eagles are coming off extended rest.
Yep, which helps.
Which helps a lot.
It helps a lot, but it don't help. It can't help your mentality. It's mental. It's mental. You got too much talent, but you don't even know how to tackle no more.
And Carson Wentz is starting for the Vikings. JJ's still out another week.
Yeah.
So the Carson Wentz is getting the start for the Vikings
I'm gonna take
against his old team.
I'm taking the.
You want the Vikes?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Vikings.
I like the Vikings at home. And you're playing in that stadium, it's going to heat up if there's sun. So it'll be playing in the sauna, and I think that favors the Vikings. Let's move on to the next. I'm not saying it's ugly, but the Panthers are at the Jets. Carolina beat Dallas last week, so there's no rhyme or reason.
They came
here.
back. Yeah,
They're
they came
3.
back.
The Panthers, as bad as you think they are,
Yeah.
they're 3-3.
Yeah, they're not really bad.
They're not that bad.
Because if you go over their games, you'll see that they're not the Panthers that were early of last year.
No.
They started playing better at the end, remember?
Right.
With Bryce Young. They're not a bad team. They're not a team you come in and just like mark a W. You better play.
You got to play.
You
They
know.
beat Dallas last week.
Yeah, came back.
They
were
came
losing.
back and won. They were losing. They beat Dallas 30-27. We got that game wrong. We took Cowboys and they got beat.
And their top running back was out, Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah.
He's back. But Rico Dow, if anybody been playing, he's been rushing near 200 yards for 2 straight weeks. You're going to have both of them now.
Okay, the Panthers
Carolina.
at the Jets, it's 1.5. The Jets get 1.5. A home dog
I don't know.
getting 1.5. I'm taking the Panthers. I'm not
Yeah,
taking the Jets.
I can't see the,
I mean, I'm just going with the Panthers, and 1.5 is almost a pick.
Yeah, no,
and I just
I'm
think
just
the
gonna take them.
Panthers are a better team.
Yeah, I'm taking them too.
And I don't know. And if the Jets get beat this week, I mean, I'm not knowing the owners there. I'm not surprised. Glenn might not survive this. I mean, they're talking about firing him in midseason.
That's
I mean, at
terrible.
least give the guy the season.
Yeah, that doesn't make
But
sense.
now
But they probably will, though.
They're criticizing him now because of the way he treated Rodgers. He had Rodgers, fly all the way across the country and told Rodgers, you're not part of the plan, yada, yada, yada. And then Rodgers goes to Pittsburgh. Rodgers is playing good, and now you got Fields, and everyone said Fields isn't any good. You should have known that. But I don't know if it's so much Fields as the team is crappy. But the whole point of it is,
Yeah, but I don't think he's a starting quarterback
No,
for
he's
sure. I watched him. He's definitely
he
a backup.
still does the same
stuff that he shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, he's a backup.
Yep.
Let's go to the Giants at the Broncos. Now, the Giants are getting 7 and a hook at Denver. They haven't played since Thursday of last week, so they've had an extended rest. The Broncos came from across the pond from London. That game Sunday morning was brutal.
Yeah.
They beat the Jets 13-11. That was painful.
Mm-hmm.
That was a painful game to watch. The Broncos just can't score, and the Jets are just as bad. That's like two teams that just are like banging heads together and nothing's happening. And it was just a brutal game to watch.
Yeah. I mean, their defense could play. I'm not sold on it. That's why I looked at the schedule when you talked about this game. A lot of people was picking Denver to maybe even win the West. And I always thought the problem is on offense. They're not consistent. Defense is great.
Defense is good.
But they're not consistent on offense. So is this the week they play better on offense? Maybe so. If they do, I think they can handle it. 7 and a hook, though.
7 and a hook. Can the Giants keep it?
Can they go up there, though?
And that's the problem. Going up in the mile high, can the Giants keep it close? That's the question.
I'm going to take the Broncos. I don't want to in a way. That you may receive a call before. That's a 4:00 game.
4:05 CBS.
Yeah, that might you might receive a call or change.
I'm going out as much as I've been critical of Dable. I think the Giants can keep it relatively close. I think Denver wins it, but they don't cover. I think Denver will win the game. Denver can't score. Giants defense is pretty good. It's playing solid. Dart's giving them a little energy. I think they can keep it close. They're not. I don't think. I could see the Broncos kicking the field goal at the end of the game and winning, or scoring. And I think the hook is what bothers me because Denver could win by 7 and you lose.
I wonder if Denver is Slayton back for the Giants. I don't know if he's back. They need just some more with the receiving, help out Robinson and everybody. But that young receiving corridor has been doing pretty decent. I thought they were just done once Neighbors went down, but they've been doing good. They've been hanging in there.
They have played well. Darius Slayton is not playing.
Oh, okay.
He's
Seeing that they was adding, just another weapon to just trying to see if they got some more weapons.
It
They do
says
that.
D. Yeah, I don't think
D.
he's
Doubtful.
Doubtful. He's
Yep.
doubtful. So there's a chance he could play. He's doubtful. But they got the Wendell Washington. Robinson's been playing good for him.
Oh yeah, he's been playing good.
He's been playing all right. I'll take the Giants, thinking they could keep it close.
Yeah.
Closer. Let's get to the next game, which is the Colts at the Chargers. And the Chargers are laying 2.5. So Colts go on the road. They're in San Diego, L.A. We call them the San Diego
I'm
Chargers.
gonna actually take the Colts. This is an interesting game, though.
It is.
That's an interesting game.
Yeah, I'm kind of debating. Yeah,
It's hard to say. I mean, that's
the
another
Colts
one I
haven't
could
really
flip.
beaten any good teams, but the Chargers have been. Yeah, they beat Miami. They got
Who, the
lucky
Colts?
against Denver. The Colts got lucky. They got that gift Denver with the field goal at the end of the game. They beat Miami. They beat Tennessee 41-20. They lost to the Rams that they should have won because of the celebration thing. They barely beat Arizona, but they blew out Las Vegas.
That's the Colts.
Yes, Colts.
Okay. Let's see who the Chargers beat the Chiefs. Just the
The
beginning.
Chargers beat the Chiefs. They lost to the. I know they lost to the Giants. They beat the Raiders, and they beat Denver.
They only got 3 wins.
They have 4 wins. They beat Miami barely 29-27. They lost to the Giants. They lost to Washington 27-10. They beat Kansas City. They beat Vegas, and they beat Denver, and they beat Miami.
Yeah, I'll stay.
I
with
don't know.
the-
I'll go.
That's the Chargers you just did,
Yep.
right?
I'll take Colts too.
Yeah.
Washington this is the old Washington at the Cowboys, and the Cowboys are actually Washington's getting 1.5 points.
Washington?
Yeah, Washington. I had to look at this twice, but actually Cowboys are a slight favorite unless it's changed. I looked at it this morning to make sure.
CeeDee
Sometimes
Lamb
I
is
look
playing
at this right.
back. They got no problem. I ain't got nothing to say about the Dallas Cowboys or Dak Prescott. He's been playing out of his mind.
Bears, Washington lost to the Bears. God, they're both coming off bad losses. Washington lost to the Bears 25-24, and they got beat. Dallas got beat by the Panthers 30-27.
Yep.
The Washington is 2-3-1.
Mm-hmm.
The Bears are basically
and Dallas is around that too, or 3-3, or
they're 3-3.
Yeah,
I don't know with this one. It's almost a pick'em game. I'll take Washington on the road. That might be a mistake. I'll take Washington. I'll take Jaden Daniels.
No, I'm taking
McLaurin is out.
Yep. CeeDee Lamb is back in.
The CeeDee Lamb is
and
back.
their offense is rolling.
Well, the offense isn't the problem. It's their defense is just horrendous.
Yeah, no.
And they gave that game away to the Panthers last week to Carolina. I mean,
yeah.
So do you want the
Washington's getting the points, right? It's only a 1.5.
Point and a half. Like a pick 'em.
I just take them because they're getting a 1.5.
All right, let's go to the Packers are at the Cardinals, and the Cardinals are at home getting 7.5 points.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'll lay the points. I'll take my chance on the Packers. I don't know.
Wait, no, you didn't say
7.5. Cardinals get 7.5 at home.
Now that's the one I was wondering. Who is starting? Is Murray or is it Brissett? Trying to see if I can see anything. I don't know. I think he's probable. Or something. I thought I seen it, but I don't see anything here yet.
I don't think
Green being there. So
why would Kyler Murray not start? Is he hurt?
Mm-hmm. He didn't play last week.
All right.
Jacoby Brissett.
That's right, and he almost beat him.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
Marvin Harrison will play.
Anyway, foot is questionable. He's questionable. We're kind of running out of time.
I'm gonna take.
What do you want?
I'm taking Green Bay.
All right, you want the Packers? We'll finish the show with.
We got the Monday night games.
Yeah, we got
Sunday.
We got the Sunday night and the 2 Mondays. We're gonna probably run out of time, but Falcons are at the 49ers, 1.5.
I'll take Atlanta.
Me too. I'll take the Falcons. All right, Dave Clark. We'll get the other two off the air.
Yeah.
Saturday morning sports page. We can't even we're so bad we can't get the show done in 3 hours. We need 4 hours now. We'll be here all day. Saturday morning sports page. Do not drink and do not drive. Stay sober. Have a good week. Western Reserve Radio.
Youngstown, Warren, and Salem Sports Talk is on the iMedia1 Network, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast.
Occasion. Legacy Club Rooftop Cocktails. Reserve your spot today at circalasvegas.com.
Countdown to kickoff is the final word before the NFL games begin on Sunday. Join Jonathan Von Tobel and Stormy Bonatoni each week as they preview the day's games and discuss the latest odds and money movement with Circa CEO Derek Stevens. Warren Sharp joins the show and takes us through his picks and sharp analysis for the games. For all the latest news, injuries, odds, and lineup changes, tune in to Countdown to Kickoff every Sunday from noon to 1 p.m. Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. This is Live Bet Saturday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
College Football Week 8 Saturday edition is here. Welcome on into Live Bet Saturday. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. He's Ben Stevens. I'm Dustin Sweetelson, and we got you covered all early window here in college football. And what have we learned this year? No one is great. Everyone is susceptible, and there's chaos coming every week. Ben Stevens, how we doing, buddy?
Dustin Sweetelson, I am doing incredibly well. It is awesome to be with you for this Week 8 Saturday. We have 5 ranked versus ranked top 25 tilts, the most on a single Saturday all season long so far in 2025. And we are very lucky because yet again, our early window starting here at 12 p.m. Eastern time with 9 kicks features one of those top 25 showdowns and a huge game in the ACC in Durham between Duke and number 12 Georgia Tech. It is awesome to be with you once again on this Saturday for Week 8 and for all 3 hours together on Live Bet Saturday as well.
We've got a lot to get to throughout these 3 hours. We'll have some bets along the way, a couple of live wagers, hopefully as well, monitoring some situations. But let's get you prepped for games about to kick off. Toe is going to meet leather in Nashville, Tennessee, and we've got history in front of us. The Vanderbilt Commodores are favored over LSU for the first time since 1948. It's their first time favored in the SEC since 1978. And you look at this spot for Diego Pavia, dare I say, Ben, 50-1 for Heisman. If he beats LSU, do we have a conversation? What do you make of this matchup?
I think you would certainly start to have that conversation. This is a top 20 showdown. Vandy is the number 17 team in the country, fresh off a bye, of course, following the loss to Alabama, when Vanderbilt was the higher ranked team entering that game. When you look at where things are right now for the Doors, Dustin, there is a reason that for the first time since 1978, as Dustin alluded to, that this now being the 78th matchup for Vanderbilt against a top 10 team, they are favored for the first time. It is not incorrect, even if it's just a couple of cents on the money line and 1.5 in the spread. The offensive advantage in this game, listen to me clearly here, is with the Vanderbilt Commodores. Yes, Vandy has a better offense than that of LSU. The Bayou Bengals have been stagnant, averaging just over 25 points per game. And Dustin, in Brian Kelly's tenure, this year, number 4 in Baton Rouge, it is the first time that LSU has averaged fewer than 30 points per game and 430 yards of total offense. But when the offense has struggled for the Bayou Bengals, the defense has been great. One of the best scoring defenses in the SEC and in the country, allowing fewer than 12 points per game. Diego Pavia, to me, is the key. At least 11 rush attempts in every game so far for Vanderbilt against SEC competition. Can he exploit this LSU defense, not just through the air, but on the ground? This Vandy offense has been running it well, averaged more than 7 yards per pop on the ground against the Crimson Tide, albeit in a loss 2 weekends ago.
I took LSU even money on the money line. I love Vanderbilt. I love the story, but we've seen this time and time again in college football, my friend. It's easy to punch up when you're the underdog. It's a little different when you're the hunted now and you're the favorite. Clark Lee just 4-9 against the spread as a favorite here. So that's where I went in that game. Baylor and TCU just underway. This one closed. TCU up to a 3.5-point favorite, total 66.5. I'm looking at this matchup, Ben, where we've got both teams coming off games against Kansas State. Well, that's because Baylor's off their bye. Dave Aranda just 5-5 against the spread off of his bye, 7-4 to the over. I'm hoping for a little of a stall out here early from these offenses, and maybe I can buy a dip on the over. That's my game plan here. Dangerous proposition when you're playing with these two teams in the Big 12, but I'm looking at an in-game over. I didn't want to do 66.5. Felt like right on the edge of where I think this game actually is. I'm going to see if they get off to a slow start. That field looks a little chunky and wet right now. What do you make of Baylor going to TCU?
Yeah, you know, it's such an interesting story for this Baylor Bears team that has so much experience offensively and has been lethal with both Bryson Washington on the ground and Sawyer Robertson through the air. They are one of the best scoring in total offenses within the Big 12, but they are the second worst scoring defense in this conference, only better than Oklahoma State, not a phrase you want to be uttered in when compared to the Pokes. Baylor allowing more than 29 points per game, and that's been the story in Waco the last few years under Dave Aranda, despite being a defensive guru and a really good defense when Baylor won a Big 12 championship back in 2021. Can TCU take advantage? At home, comfortable setting in Fort Worth. It's not any groundbreaking rocket science to say that your quarterback being your most important player, Dustin, if he performs better, you're going to win games rather than lose them. But in wins this year, the 4 for the Horned Frogs, the touchdown to interception ratio for the quarterback of TCU, Josh Hoover, 15 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. In the 2 losses now for TCU, 3 touchdowns to 4 INTs. That is a wide range of disparity. Can he control and keep care of the football today? If so, I lean with TCU. I do think we'll see some points, but I agree. Let's get a slow start by the dip, and I still expect this to get into the low 60s.
Yep, 3 and out for Baylor opening drive. TCU has the ball. They're working from their own 30 right now on a 1st and 10. So things going the way I want. I'll wait a couple drives, though. I need that number to drop. It's still at 65.5. What's interesting, after just one drive, TCU's up to a 5.5-point favorite. I thought that was a quick adjustment on the number. And speaking of numbers adjusting, I bet a bad one early in the week. I took Georgia Tech plus 2.5. Give me that rambling wreck as a dog. Brent Key thrives in this role. 3-0 against the spread as a dog of 7 or less. 15-6 against the spread overall in the underdog role. Manny Diaz on the other side for Duke, just 2-3 against the spread as a home favorite at Duke, 10-12 in his career, and 4-7 against the spread off the bye in his career. Manny Diaz. Everyone loves Duke. I've heard everyone make the case for Duke, and I love Darian Mensah. And I understand this offense is fun. Actually, both offenses, top 25 in scoring this year, Georgia Tech and Duke. Yeah. The total of this game is at 60.5, Ben. We're about to get going there in Durham, North Carolina. Did you end up doing anything with Georgia Tech and Duke?
No, I did not, and I will see how this game plays out. But, Dustin, just from the handicapping perspective, as you know better than most, whenever you see an unranked home favorite against a team that is in the AP top 25, let alone number 12 in the country, there is a reason for it. It is not a mistake. This line got down to just about minus 120 on the money line yesterday afternoon. We're going to close with the Blue Devils as a 3, and in some spots, add on that hook, 3.5-point favorite. The key to me is Georgia Tech's defense, as you alluded to. The Jackets the last few years under Tyler Santucci, who is now coaching in the NFL for the Baltimore Ravens, were really good up front, where they had struggled in years past. Not the case in 2024, starting to be the case here in 2025. Even in the wins against Virginia Tech and Wake Forest, they allowed a $186 on the ground to the Hokies, more than 200 yards on the ground to the Demon Deacs, a game arguably Georgia Tech probably should have come out on the losing end. Darian Mensah has been sensational, at least 265 in all 6 games as a Blue Devil. But I think the balance we are starting to see out of this Duke offense, with Nate Shepard on the ground, at least 91 yards in the last 2 games for Duke, rushing the football, could be the key today. Can Georgia Tech contain that against the Duke team that's been playing really good defense, forcing 7 turnovers in its last 2 ACC affairs?
All right, we are about to get going at the Big House. Washington making their trip to Ann Arbor. 2 really young quarterbacks that should probably be Heisman in the Heisman conversation the next couple seasons here in Williams and Underwood. Looking at this matchup, Ben, it was a late addition for me. Michigan laying 4, totals 50.5. I just thought, based on the early start time for Washington, a young kid in Williams going to the Big House for the first time, I feel a slow start coming. Maybe we get points in the second half, but I think a slow start is coming for both teams here. Went back and looked. Washington 3-0 to the under in Big Ten play this year. Michigan 2-1 to the under. Jed Fish and Sharon Moore both 7-5 to the first half under at the respective programs in conference play. Because of that, give me the first half under in this game. I believe it was 24.5. What do you make of this Big Ten tilt?
Yeah, I think it's a really good game, Dustin. And there's been a lot of conversation this week about Washington with only a single loss to the number 1 team in the country in Ohio State being kept out of the AP top 25 with some of the performances we have seen out of UW and what we saw performance-wise out of Damon Williams Jr. last Friday night at home in Seattle against Rutgers. 402 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, $136 on the ground, 2 more rushing scores. The only FBS quarterback since 1995 to put up a game with those statistics. And I think you are getting a small discount on his passing yards prop today in Ann Arbor. 224 plus is how I bet this game early in the week. We have seen Michigan against other upper echelon quarterbacks. John Mateer threw for 270. Dylan Raiola, 308 last week in LA against Jaden Mayava for USC, 265. This Michigan secondary, not nearly as elite as they had been in 2022 through 2024. They're giving up some yardage through the air. That's how Washington, I think, stays in this game. I like the number on Damon Williams Jr. If the Huskies, with some market movement backing them, 6.5 early in the week, this is going to close at 4 in the Big House. If Washington wins today on the road, the Huskies will be a top 25 team, Dustin, and maybe closer to 20 than 25.
And Jed Fish may be the next head coach at insert big school with a lot of money here if that goes down. A lot happening in college football this week. This feels like a really fun window where later in the day we'll have some sexy games. You and I will preview Notre Dame hosting USC, where that number has been going bonkers all week long. Georgia and Ole Miss, what did we see from the Rebs last week? Was that them waiting for this opportunity to take on the Bulldogs, or is that who they really are? A lot going on here in college football. He's Ben Stevens. I'm Dustin Sweetelson, and we'll have you covered all afternoon long. Coming up in about 20 minutes, Jake Rowe is going to join us, covers the Georgia Bulldogs. We'll get a full breakdown of that SEC matchup between the Hedges and then Tim O'Malley, Irish Illustrated, talking Notre Dame, USC. That will be at, 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. But in the meantime, we're going to find you some live bets along the way in the early window of college football week 8. This is Live Bet Saturday. It's VSiN, SiriusXM channel 158, YouTube TV, and the VSiN Watch app. We'll be back to take you through this early window next.
Progressive Home Quote Explorer lets you easily compare rates, so shopping for insurance might be the easiest part of owning a home. Definitely easier than this.
Psst, honey. Honey! What? Shh, there's a salesman walking up the driveway.
Oh, no, he's got a clipboard.
What do we do?
Get down.
Down?
On the floor, you...
Shoot, did he see us?
Why are you breathing so loud?
Home ownership isn't easy, but with Progressive's Home Quote Explorer, shopping for home insurance is. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-791-1313. 800-791-1313.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire. Or
hey,
no
let me ask you
coverage
something.
at all.
Would you seat your 3-year-old child on a windowsill? Would you seat them beside a lit fireplace or by the deep end of a pool? One last question. Would you seat your child in a car seat that's not correct for them? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Secure their future. Seat them in the correct car seat. For more information, visit safercar.gov/the right seat. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Honorary Forest Ranger Betty White here, lending a hand to my dear friend Smokey Bear, because for years he's only said,
Only you can prevent wildfires.
but there's a lot more to say. Like if you park your car on tall, dry grass, the hot exhaust pipe can start a wildfire. So keep the animals safe, especially the cute shirtless one. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Western Reserve Radio at westernreserveradio.com on the Live 365 network and the Live 365 app.
7 p.m. Eastern on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Elevate your sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup, then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to vsin.com/pro to join VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is Live Bet Saturday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
College football week number 8 is now underway. He is Dustin Sweetelson. I am Ben Stevens, and you are joining us here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. It is Live Bet Saturday. 5 ranked versus ranked top 25 matchups on this Saturday, the most on a single day in the 2025 college football season so far. In the first of those 5, as we speak in Nashville, Vanderbilt closes as a slight home favorite against LSU. The first time in 78 games for Vandy against the top 10 foe. The doors were booked as the favored side, expected to win. LSU gets the ball first as we speak, Dustin, driving into Commodore's territory. But a long third down ahead for Garrett Nussmeier in this struggling LSU offense, but in field goal range. No score there. We are now underway at Wallace Wade. Duke and Georgia Tech, the number 12 team in the country, the Yellow Jackets, trying to stay unbeaten. But Duke's also undefeated in the ACC with some chaos in that conference as Miami goes down at home last night to Louisville. A lot to love here in this early window, and our first scoring has happened in a Big 12 battle, not the one that we talked about early in Fort Worth between TCU and Baylor, but an interesting game between Arizona and Houston, Dustin. I'm on the Wildcats as an ever so slight road favorite. I got them laying a point. They closed as a 1.5 favorite. We've already seen 14 points in the first 5 minutes of this game. Arizona and Houston tied at 7-all in H-Town today.
Okay, Ben, this one closed with a total of 47.5. We've had 2 offensive plays run, one by Arizona, one by Houston, both for touchdowns. Connor Wegman, a 52-yard touchdown pass. That is to Amari Thomas. And in Arizona, Noah Fafita with a touchdown pass to Trey Spivey for 70 yards. That's how we've gotten the scoring. Look, I think that total of 47.5 made a lot of sense. We're now up to 61 in a hook in game. Can I interest you in an in-game under? Or based on what you're seeing, do you expect this to be an old school Big 12 matchup where defense is optional?
I do not, right? Because one of the reasons I trusted the Wildcats in this game, despite getting run all over by BYU last week, we'll talk about that game in the Holy War later in Provo against Utah. This Arizona defense has been pretty good. Houston also on the other side has been okay, and I don't think Houston's offense against the best of the best is all that desirable. Yes, Dean Connors has been good on the ground, and Connor Wigman has a ton of experience. But, Dustin, the reason I am fading the Cougs at home today is because of their resume. In their 4 victories against FBS competition, those teams 7-19 this year. So I think you can buy in on the scoring and buy low for that total at 61.5. Anytime you see 2 teams score on their first offensive play from scrimmage, it's not necessarily like a drive was sustained and they are making their way against this defense. 61.5 up by multiple touchdowns. Because of multiple touchdowns this early from that pregame number, this is that spot where the market might have overreacted quickly and we can find some live betting opportunities.
Yeah, I'm going to get in right now. I've got a 60.5. That is going to be an in-game play I'm locking in right now. I like reacting to the over adjustment in the market from early plays in a game. And that's just one that jumps out to me here, where they obviously saw something in the defense that they could exploit right away because it's 2 chunk plays on either side. Feels a bit fluky. I'm going under 60.5. That's locked in now at -105 for me. TCU and Baylor, Ben, I'm still waiting. It's a 2nd and 13 for TCU. If they stall out here and they're not able to sustain a drive, I'm going to go on the over there. It's at 58.5. I think I can get a better number if they have to punt this. If they punt this and it ticks another point or 2 down, I'm going over on TCU Baylor. This could be a freaky game. This could be a weird game. This could be one of those Big 12 games that comes down to the wire. And dare I say, am I a little early? We're just a few minutes into it. Overtime feels like the vibe in a Baylor TCU game, which means over would be the play.
Baylor, in the last time that we saw them, we got off air at 3 p.m. Eastern, and they were playing in a wild game against K-State, down by multiple touchdowns in the second half. A pick 6 brought Baylor all the way back. They beat the Cats 35-34. The last game, as you mentioned, Dustin, for both the Bears and these Horned Frogs against K-State, different result. Baylor edges out Kansas State. TCU loses a week ago because Avery Johnson and the Wildcats rushing attack ran all over this Horned Frogs defense to the tune of 41 points. Both defenses have struggled at times. I said Josh Hoover has to take care of the football. We'll see if he does today. Looks a little bit rainy and sloppy there, and I wonder if that's why the offenses are sputtering. But we did say if this total that closed at 66 and a hook dip below 60 early, we're at 58.5. Maybe that would be an area of attack. We do have points in Nashville. LSU on its opening offensive possession does convert with a field goal. So the Bayou Bengals up 3-0 early. Their opening drive took about 5.5 minutes, 9:32 remaining in the first quarter. Going to try to catch a live number here to see if the field goal changed anything. No, Vandy, still that live favorite, although money line numbers on DraftKings, -115 either way, Dustin.
All right, Ben, we're down to 55.5 in that Baylor-TCU game. I'm very strongly considering this. However, Baylor's going to start deep in their own territory. I'm waiting another drive. I know it feels like I'm kicking the can down the road, but if I can get somehow sub 50, that's a principal play. I don't even care if it misses at that point. Getting a great number versus that closing number as Vandy returns the kickoff to midfield. My goodness, Vandy is hyped up and ready to go for LSU in town. I've got LSU on the money line. I think in the end the talent shows out, but I'll be fair. I have a blind spot for Brian Kelly and LSU. I'm one of those people that actually thinks Brian Kelly's a good coach, and I'm in the minority, I've learned, in the college football community. But I just like his team. I love their defense. I love Pavia. I think it's a great story. And I love that they're a veteran team, Vanderbilt. But the reality is, those guys on the other side, in no way, shape, or form on any earth that we live on, should be losing to the Vanderbilt Commodores outright. I'm sorry, I had to take LSU.
Yeah, and I don't think you're faulted in that kind of thinking. Because of LSU's struggles offensively this year, they still are having a hard time running the football. As I alluded to, they're averaging more than 25 points per game for the first time under BK since the start of 2022, averaging fewer than 30 points per game. But where there has been some struggles, there's also been some good. And that's a really talented defense in year number 2 under defensive coordinator Blake Baker that is only allowing 11.8 points per game. Dustin, it's the first time that also in the BK era in Baton Rouge since 2022, LSU is allowing fewer than 22 points per game. The defense is standing tall. And again, Diego Pavia and the Doors now on the field. That's the key. What does the ground attack look like today, where Pavia is very mobile? In 3 games against SEC foes, at least 11 rush attempts. But in all 3 of those games, fewer than 200 yards passing as well. Cedric Alexander has been incredible alongside him. They average better than 7 yards per carry on the ground against the Crimson Tide in their only loss of the season now 2 Saturdays ago. But Dustin, in that game against Alabama, the Tide ran 15 more plays than Vanderbilt. Can they possess the ball today? They've got a great opportunity here already at midfield on their opening offensive possession in Nashville.
So Georgia Tech just punted from midfield, and that's interesting to me because this is a total that I was intrigued by the idea of an over. Then I looked at the number was 60.5 with Georgia Tech at Duke. Both offenses top 25 in scoring, and I'm looking at that in-game number, Ben. It's at 54 and a hook. This is another game. If it gets low enough, I'll consider the over as well, but I may wait it out. I think because there's a lot on the line for both of these teams right now. You've also got 2 head coaches who I think their names are being thrown around for the Penn State job potentially, and maybe some other openings at big programs. Let's wait it out and see how things go. So I'll see what Duke can do here, backed up, working from their own 2-yard line. And if they don't sustain a drive, and I can end up getting a good number on the over, I'll think about it. But there is oh man, we're about to have a 98-yard touchdown from Duke as those words come out of my mouth. Did he step out of bounds? Oh, they're saying he stepped out of bounds. Oh, man. Oh, let's see. Did he actually step out of bounds? This is brutal if
We're looking at the replay here. Right foot's good, left foot on the bounce.
There we go. That was a
left
weird
foot
one.
on the white there.
That was a weird one. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Big play.
It was a great play, and it got them out of their own end zone. That's key. So maybe that over is going to go away. Let's see, or that total is going to go away. It's at 58.5, so it jumped to, or 56.5. So it's about where we were before.
Okay, not bad. And again, both of these offenses can move the ball. Duke had struggled in their first few games, Dustin, against FBS competition, allowing at least 33 points per game in their first 3 against FBS schools. But in the last 2, much better, forcing 7 turnovers against Syracuse and in their most recent game against Cal, where they held the Golden Bears to only 1 yard, 0.4 on the ground in terms of how that rushing defense looked. Let's make sure that although it's a college football Saturday, you've got everything covered. And First Bet and VSiN have teamed up with a special offer. And today is the final day to take advantage of it. Open and deposit into a new First Bet account and get up to a $250 sign-up bonus with promo code VSiN250. Then place $100 in wagers within your first 30 days, and you'll unlock a 4-year of VSiN Pro. That's a $240 value. Already a subscriber will extend your subscription another year. For more information, go to first.com/VSiN. That's 1st.com/VSIN. The early window of the Week 8 Saturday slate in college football is open and it's thriving. More Live Bet Saturday next.
Remember when they used to ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? At Bank of America, we ask every day, what would you like the power to do? When you work here, you help build businesses, inspire communities.
What I know
and
about
forge
courage,
legacies.
I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
My mother was always very active and independent, and she was familiar with her neighborhood. But one day, she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual. She wasn't even really sure where she was at.
It's important for you to talk to someone about it. I felt so much better after my son told me, Mom, we'll figure it out.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Olivia from Washington. Laid off and trying to keep our little kids from realizing that Mommy and Daddy haven't eaten in a while.
Roger from California. I'm grateful we could afford our son's surgery. I'm nervous that now we can't really afford food.
Daniel from California. Choosing whether to pay the rent or pay to fix the car to get to work doesn't leave us with much at all. Now we can't even pay for meals.
Donna from Louisiana. The storm just hit, and we went from donating to the food bank to needing it.
Keisha from South Carolina. I've been skipping meals so my 2 kids can eat, but filling up on water doesn't really work.
Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
This is Everett Fitzhugh, the radio voice of the NHL Seattle Kraken, and when I want to catch up with Youngstown sports, I tune in to Western Reserve Radio, WRDB, The Scourge.
99 or save 50% off an annual plan at VEASAN.com/subscribe.
Tim Murray is getting you ready for a full day of college football action every Saturday on the College Football Tailgate Show. Join Tim each week from 9 a.m. to noon Eastern as he takes you through the latest college football news, odds, and matchups with plenty of picks to sink your teeth into. With expert guests from around the country, we've got the college football landscape covered. It's the College Football Tailgate Show, Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon Eastern on VEASAN, the sports betting network.
This is Live Bet Saturday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Back at it. It's Live Bet Saturday, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. We got a little juice here, college football week 8. While we were in the break, Duke looking like they were about to punch it in on the goal line against Georgia Tech. They fumble. Georgia Tech, that rambling wreck, runs all the way down to the other end of the field, about 95 yards for a touchdown, and the Yellow Jackets take a 7-0 lead. That is the big situation brewing right now in this early window. We have, though, an opportunity now to look ahead to the next window of games. He's Ben Stevens. I'm Dustin Sweetelson. And joining us now, Jake Rowe, co-owner, Dogs HQ, part of the On3 network, at Jake M. Rowe on X. He's going to help us preview this tilt between Ole Miss and Georgia. So, Jake, talk to me. Let's get a lay of the land. We've got number 5 Ole Miss going to Georgia, number 9 in the country, where the Bulldogs are laying 7. The total is 56.5. What are your anticipation for this matchup and this chess match between Lane Kiffin and Kirby Smart?
Yeah, thanks for having me, first of all. And ultimately, man, I came into this game and I've been kind of watching this matchup for a couple of weeks now. And, looking at the line and everything that kind of came out there, you normally don't see a number 9 team favored by 7 over a number 5 team. But I see the same thing that I feel like, sports books are seeing, which is this is a matchup issue. This is a matchup thing, and I like the matchup for Georgia. Ole Miss has struggled to stop the run. They've struggled to get after the quarterback. They haven't really been challenged as a pass defense. They haven't really been challenged, in terms of being able to stop the run and facing a great run defense. And kind of Georgia kind of has all of those elements. And, you got to come into Sanford Stadium where Georgia has, listen, they lost to Alabama to break a 33-game streak, but I think Georgia's won like 56 of their last 58 inside of Sanford Stadium or something crazy like that. Or maybe it's not quite that dramatic, but it's been a tough place for other teams to win. And the matchup itself just seems to kind of lean Georgia. I think if you looked at these teams, you put a grade on either one of them, on both of them, it would be very close if Ole Miss is not maybe even a little bit better overall. But just in terms of how these two teams match up, I think Georgia has a little bit of an edge there.
Jake, you mentioned the line, a touchdown in favor of UGA at home. We have also seen a tremendous amount of market movement in the total. Earlier in the week, it was 54.5. In some spots, it's 57 and a hook. Maybe not what we think of first and foremost when we think of a Kirby Smart-led team is offense. You just highlighted where Georgia can maybe make some hay against this Ole Miss defense. If we do see a ton of scoring today in between the hedges in Sanford Stadium, how do we get there?
Yeah, I think ultimately you kind of have to lean, towards it being the type of game where Ole Miss and Georgia kind of hit explosive plays on one another. I think that's the kicker, is that this ends up becoming kind of a chunk play game where you end up with 7, 8, 9 plays of 20 yards or more combined between these two teams. That can happen. And Ole Miss has allowed those, especially on the ground. Georgia's allowed some big ones through the air. So, both of these teams kind of have a little bit of a weakness in terms of allowing big plays, Georgia through the air, Ole Miss on the ground. So I think that's kind of where you look at where the scoring could come from in this game. I also think that, I don't know, I looked at this line all week, and I thought about it as it felt a little bit like a sucker line, to be honest with you. When one comes out a lot higher than I thought it was, that would be the case. And then you watch how it goes on all week, all the money that's been put on, all the bets that have been made on Ole Miss to cover, all the money that's gone towards Ole Miss to cover. And the line hasn't budged a whole lot. A half-point fluctuation throughout the week. That's just been kind of wild to me.
Yep, that 7 and a hook is baiting you to take Ole Miss. He is Jake Rowe, co-owner of Dogs HQ, part of the On3 Network, joining us here with a quick preview of the Dogs hosting the Rebels. Talk to me about this key matchup in the game. We've got a run defense for Ole Miss that can't stop anyone. 96 stopping the rush. Georgia, 40th running the football. Do you think that is where they plan to attack that Ole Miss defense, or do you think Gunnar Stockton has an opportunity to have a big game here?
Well, ultimately, that's why the run game's so beautiful, right? Is because it can open up the door for both. And that's Georgia's been great running the ball at home more than anything else. They ran it all over Alabama, all over Kentucky. Obviously Austin Peay and Marshall are who they are. But that's kind of I can't imagine Georgia having a different philosophy going into this game. SEC stat cat Clark Brooks, he does some work for us for On3, but he also, kind of does his own thing and has his own website. He kind of charted the run concepts that give Ole Miss trouble, and it's what Georgia does. It's inside counter, it's inside zone. It's those read plays that Gunnar Stockton does a really good job with, and the matchup of Georgia's rush offense against Ole Miss's run defense is a big one today. But like I said earlier, Ole Miss has played 6 games this year. They have on paper a great pass defense, allowing 5.8 yards per attempt. The problem is the one team that kind of lit them up is the only team that they played inside the top 80 nationally when it comes to throwing the football was Arkansas. And, Georgia's not necessarily a merchant when it comes to throwing the football around, but they can be explosive. Gunnar Stockton can push the ball downfield. They've got some guys that can break tackles and run after the catch. And I think when you look at, hey, can the run set up the pass in a game like this, which is, again, the beauty of the run game, I think the answer to that is yes.
He is Jake Rowe. Check him out, Dogs HQ, part of the On3 Network, at Jake M. Rowe on X. Really appreciate the time on a crazy day, man. Enjoy the game.
Appreciate it, guys. Y'all take care.
Ben, I have not gotten there with that game yet. I want to bet Georgia. That would be my lean. But my problem I have is, it feels like a bit of an overreaction with everyone with Ole Miss, where you see the way they played against Washington State, and everyone goes, well, why'd they struggle against Washington State? They didn't struggle against Washington State because of the Cougs. They struggled because they wanted to go into a basic game plan and save all the good stuff for Georgia this week. That's what happened a week ago. I saw Trinidad Chambliss against LSU. He's ready for big moments, and I think he could be fun to watch against Georgia. This may be a wait and live bet opportunity for me.
You know, as Jake said right there, Dustin, and I wholeheartedly agree, the reason I bet the over early in the week on Tuesday at 54.5, and happy I got in when I did, and expect to see some scoring this afternoon between the hedges, is because the weaknesses of both defense, I feel like the offense has the strength to exploit. We have seen this Georgia rushing offense. Last week, fewer than 80 yards against Auburn. It was the only time in their 4 SEC games with fewer than $180 on the ground. And an Ole Miss rushing defense last year that was second best in the country, now allowing 158 yards per game on average. That's an area of success for the Dogs. Meanwhile, this Georgia defense, not bad up front, but in the back end of that secondary has really struggled this year. We saw the game on Rocky Top, explosive play after explosive play for the balls through the air. Joey Aguilar, 371 yards, 4 touchdowns in the loss to Alabama in Athens. Ty Simpson, 270 plus and 2 passing scores as well. That's where I think Trinidad Chambliss is going to have some success offensively for Ole Miss. I love the total in this game. Bet it over 54.5. I still, although you are not getting the best of the number if you are joining us here on this Saturday afternoon on Live Bet Saturday, I still would think it is very much in play to see this game trend 260. And I really do think that can be the case today between the hedges. Dustin, we've got some good action going, by the way, for the other team in the greater Atlanta, Athens, Georgia area. The Yellow Jackets on the scoop and score 95 yards out. And my man, Damon Williams Jr., just connected with Denzel Boston for Washington. The Huskies now flirting with the red zone area of Michigan in the Big House.
I'm on the first half under there. We do have a touchdown in Baylor, a rushing touchdown, 7-0 Baylor over TCU. Bryson Washington took over 55.5 in game on that total. You can still get over 57.5. I like that. This thing closed, 66 and a hook. Still getting pretty good value as these offenses get going here. You mentioned Georgia Tech is leading. Diego Pavia with a punch-in touchdown from 1 yard out, and it's Vanderbilt 7, LSU 4. Trying to get you an in-game number. It's now Vandy laying 3.5, total of 49.5. We have a game about to kick off here, Ben, and I have a play on it. I took South Carolina plus 5.5, hosting Oklahoma. I don't know what this line is doing. It opened 3.5, got bet up to 5.5, but come on. I'm not overreacting to what we saw to John Mateer last week against Texas. I understand he's not 100%, but the turnovers, and more importantly, this to me screams a low-scoring defensive matchup, and because of that, give me the mobile quarterback in Lenora Sellers. Give me the home team to catch a number here. I still like them getting 4. Obviously, 5.5 is a better number, but 4 is still above a key number of 3. The Gamecocks, to me, are very live. I think they could win outright in this spot.
And that is the way the market is certainly approaching this game. We have a lot of money on the over, both public and sharp hand.